share it. No! If I can find it so I can share. Okay, where's the event at? I'm not finding it so I can share my live. Where is it? I'm not seeing my live. Discussions. Please bear with me, everyone. I'm trying to find this so I can share it to my page and to my profile. So after I share, I'll be right with you guys. Okay, let's see. Share my page. Hi, Deborah from New Mexico. Oh, at 101 degrees. I know it got really hot here today too. Miserable, and the humidity only made it worse. So what I'm going to be doing today is I don't see that. Let's see. I'm trying to share it. I'm sorry. It's taking me longer than I want. Hi, Char. I hope I said that right. I hate keeping you guys waiting. I know you come to watch me make a wreath. And I'm going to do that. Promise. It's not letting me share it anywhere. I don't know what's going on. Why isn't it letting me share? I'm sorry, please bear with me. Why is it? Nope. Oh, well, guess I'll have to get someone else to share it for me because I can't find it. I'm sorry, you guys. I really want to share this on my profile so some of my friends could come and watch with us. Hi, Deborah. I'm in Kentucky. Hi, Phyllis. I don't know why I can't share this. I don't know why it won't share. Hi, Gail. Let's see if I can share it this way. Share. I think I've got it figured out. It only wants me to share. Oh, there we go. I got it. Now I can get to working on my wreath with you guys. So, all right. I'm sorry that took me longer than I wanted. Hi, Betty. I'm glad all of you could join me. I'm excited about the wreath I'm making. If you don't mind, please like the video, share it, invite some of your friends to come join us, watch with us. I think I've got everything together, but I try. I can't promise that something won't go wrong. I mean, that's just the way my videos are. But since I've already got 20 people watching already within the first 3 minutes, I'm going to get right into what I'm doing. Okay. This is a Unique in the Creek large flower board. And I painted it. It's usually this color, gray or whatever. But I painted it white because I'm putting I'm making it into a rainbow flower. And I wanted the back not to show up, so I painted it white for that. And the way I'm making my rainbow flower, because if you look at the board, I'll have to show you from behind because where I have the zip ties on it. I always use zip ties on my boards because they're easier for me than the pipe cleaners. But anyways, on the board, I think someone's trying to get in, if you guys don't mind. I locked my door so if someone opened it, my wreath wouldn't fall off. Alright, that's just my husband being silly. Sorry, y'all. Okay, so this is the back of the board, and I'm showing you the back because the front is, yeah, all messed up. But right here you see 2 holes, and they're sunk in. They're different than the other holes. This is where you would put your twine or zip tie or whatever you're going to use to hang the wreath with. Okay, and usually there are 5 circumferences on these boards. And usually this one's used for flower leaves, for the leaves. And then there's only, this is a normal circumference that's on it. But I drilled an extra one in between these 2 circumferences. This is regularly on it too. But I wanted an extra row of, for my petals. So I drilled an extra row in between the 2 regular rows that come on the board. And then this is a regular row that comes on the board. So I drilled a row of holes between these 2 that are regularly on the board because I needed, there are seven colors in a rainbow. And the way I wanted to make the flower, to put all of the 7 colors fit on this the way I wanted it, I had to drill the extra holes and circumferences on the board. So that's why I did that. But you can see on the back, Unique in the Creek. You can go to this website, www.uniqueinthecreek.com, and if you use my promo code Country Door in all capital letters, you can get 10% off anything that you order. So there's that. Now I'm trying to think. Supplies for this wreath. Hi Lori. Anyway, supplies for this wreath is the Unique in the Creek large flower board that I just showed you. And I drilled, like I said, I drilled extra holes in it and I painted it. You can use twine to hang it or zip tie. And I showed you the holes where you put those. And you need 7 colors. Well, I've used 7 colors of 21-inch mesh. And I used the 21-inch instead of the 10-inch to save money and to make less waste. And what I did was with each petal, if I use a 10-inch wide mesh, I usually would cut it 10 by 10, how I do my flower petals. But with the 21-inch, I just cut it 10 inches and then I cut that 21 and a half, so it's 10 by 10 and a half is the measure of my cuts of the deco mesh. So, but I saved a lot with using the 21-inch because here are the petals, and I have 32 of the red and orange petal. I have 32 of the yellow and green petals, but I only had to make 16 cuts of each color because where it's 21 inches and I cut it in half, that gave me 2 pieces of mesh. So, I mean, that's all I needed to cut was 16 pieces from that one roll. So that's how I save money on using the 21-inch instead of the 10-inch, which, I mean, you can use the 10-inch. It's your preference, whatever you want to do, but this is just the way I like to do it. And with this, the way the petal's made, you don't have to worry about the fray and stuff, so. But the red color, I cut 16 pieces at 10 by 10 and a half, which ended up helping me get 32 petals. The orange, yellow, and green, like I just said, I cut 16 10-inch pieces, and then cut it down the middle 10 by 5. I mean 10 and a half, 10 by 10 and a half, and that also gave me 32 petals. The green is the same as that. I've got this written down so I don't forget anything. Alright, but the blue, now the blue, because the colors of the rainbow are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Now the blue, you know, they don't have indigo deco mesh. So I got the closest thing that I could to it that I could find. Let me, okay. I don't know if you can see the light. It's a lighter blue. I actually got denim blue is what this blue is. That's the closest thing I could find to the color of the blue in the rainbow. And then I used royal blue for the indigo. And then I used purple for the violet. So those are the 7 colors. Now with the blues and the purples, I've only cut 13 pieces of 10 by 10 of 10 inches, which will give me which gave me 26 petals. And I may need to cut more at the end, I'm not sure, but I didn't cut a lot of it because with the flowers that I do like this, when I usually get closer to the inner circles or the inner holes, I don't use as many petals as I think I need, and so then I'm left over with the extra petals and wasted zip ties. So if I need any extra at the end, it won't take me long to cut it off and make the petals, because I've got, like I said, I've already got 26 petals made for each blues and the violets. So also you need your zip ties. These are 18 pounds, 5 by 5.5. Hi Jenny, hi Peggy. But these are 5.5 inches, 18 pounds. This is what I always use, and I order them from Amazon. I get a bag of 1,000. Let me see if I can find that and show you guys. So if you wanted to, if you're looking for zip ties, you can search this on Amazon. But I know 5.5 inch long usually works for me. So, you know, it does okay for me. I wouldn't mind trying the 6 inch, but these are the best for my price range. I mean, I know it's not much difference. There isn't a lot of difference in the cost of the sizes, but that's just always what I find on Amazon when I go on there looking for my zip ties. And I need the star of the show, an 8-inch round canvas that I bought at Hobby Lobby, and then the star of the show, the picture. I emailed the people at Answers in Genesis and the Ark Encounter, and I asked them, I told them I was going to be making a wreath, a rainbow wreath, and I wanted to make a stunning center for the wreath. So I asked them if I could use one of their photos to put on a sign for the center of my wreath. And they told me that it sounded great. They gave me a link to a lot of photos, and that I could choose from any photo that I wanted to use. And this is the one I chose because of the colors. I mean, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I just love that, and that's going to go really good with my rainbow colors. And the Ark is all, I mean, when you see it, because we went to the Ark when it first opened, and when you're in the parking lot, you don't see it. You get on a bus, and they go to take you to where the Ark is. When you come around that curve where those trees and stuff are, and you see that, it like make your jaw drop. The magnitude of it, because it is just like, and it brings the Bible to life, really. It's just like, wow. I mean, you can read the dimensions and everything of the ark in scripture, but to see, because they built this using the exact measurements in the Bible, and to see it live is just like, wow, amazing. So if you haven't went to the Ark Encounter, I highly recommend it. But yeah, this is the picture, and I don't know if I said I had it printed at UPS store, and then I used Mod Podge to put it on here, and then so I wouldn't have brush strokes on it, I sprayed it with this instead of using a brush to put Mod Podge on it. I sprayed it with this Mod Podge to prevent brush strokes, and it's good. I mean, it's waterproof and all that too, so. But that's the star of the show. I'm so excited to see what this is going to look like when I get all that done. I mean, I've really been anticipating this wreath so much. So, yes, Gail, so you've been to the Ark. Oh, it's just, I love it. I want to go back. We went 3 years ago when it first opened, and I want to go back so bad. Hi, Karen. Okay, now what else? Well, I said I need Mod Podge, and then the Mod Podge matte spray, and then this. I put staples on the back of this. If you can see, right there, I have a staple gun, and I put staples like this on the back. What I'm going to try to do, because I don't want to glue it on, I'm going to try to slip a zip tie through that, and then through 2 of the holes I've got in the board, and zip tie it. And because these zip ties that I have, the heads are small, and they'll fit right through the holes in the board, so I can keep the back of the board clean and smooth. So that's why I put the staples on there like that. Hi, Karen. Well, I'm glad that you found me. Hi, Linda. First time. Wow. Okay, and then, if the zip ties don't work, I've got my pipe cleaners beside me, so I'll be able to get them. And if that doesn't work, I guess I could just always glue it. So I've got my glue and my glue gun turned on. I need my needle nose pliers and my wire cutters, and then scissors in case I have to cut any more mesh at the end if I need more petals. I think I already told you all my code to go to Unique in the Creek to order. You get 10% off. And if I didn't, use Country Door, all capital letters. So I think that's all of the supplies. If anyone doesn't have any questions, oh, I forgot. I want to show you. This is where I got the idea to make. Lori, well, the Mod Podge spray has an odor like, most aerosol sprays do, but I didn't notice it any stronger than any other UV spray or clear spray or anything else that I've used on Wreath. So, and this isn't the first time I've used the Mod Podge spray, and like I said, I like it because it is more guaranteed, because Mod Podge that you use a brush to put on there is not 100% guaranteed waterproof. I've read that on their website or whatever. But this is guaranteed is waterproof. So this is more waterproof than what you would put on with the brush. So that's why I wanted to use this too. But where I got the idea on how to do this rainbow wreath, I made this months ago. Months and months ago. See these petals? This is how I wanted to do my rainbow wreath. Now I'm not going to have the leaves like this, but this is how my rainbow is going to be. So this is where I got the idea to do my rainbow. So, any questions before I get started? Hello, Ellen. Bless you too, Karen. Oh, bless me. Yeah, if you guys don't care, do share my page, share the live, like it, invite your friends, all that good stuff. So, but do not write shared in the comments, because yesterday someone said that I can say share all I want, but not to have people writing them in the comments because it messes with the algorithm or something of how your video is found on Facebook. It affects it somehow. I don't know all that stuff. But anyway, so the first, now I've loaded the first two. You can preload your boards, all of the holes if you want to. But I'm not using this hole, and I'm not using these two holes. I mean, these two rows. So that's why I don't have any zip ties in these. And then this row and this row, I don't have all the zip ties in this because when I start adding the petals, I've learned this from other wreaths that I made, like the one I just showed you, that I've actually made more petals than I needed. All the ones I made didn't fit in this, and where I had preloaded the zip ties, I had to clip them off, and so it wasted zip ties. So I'm going to wait until I get here and just add them as I go along. So that's why I don't have all of it preloaded. I just have these first two. And there are 32 zip ties in this row and this row because that's how many flower petals I'm going to be using. Okay, now the first colors of the rainbow, and this is why I decided to do it this way, are red and orange. I decided to do it with the orange inside the red because, like I said, there are 7 colors in the rainbow. But in order for me to fit this on the board, I can't use those last 2 rows of holes. So I had to make up to have rows to add my mesh, and I couldn't add have 7 extra holes. There wasn't room for that. If I'm explaining, if I'm doing any good at explaining that. So I'm doubling the petals like this, so I still get the red and orange, all the colors, because I'm just using the 4 rows of the holes for that. And I'll show you guys how I made the petal. Now I've got all the red and orange made, but actually I forgot. It took me all week, a little bit each day, to get all the petals made because I've got over 100 petals here. But when I was making the red and orange and the green and yellow, I totally forgot to save some so I could show you guys how to make it. But I remembered not to do all the blue so I could show you guys how I make it. Alright, now again, me just rambling on here. This is from a 21-inch roll of mesh. I cut it 10 inches and then I cut it in the middle, which is 10 at 10.5. I used my wood burner because I hate dealing with the fraying, even though with the way the petal's made, you really don't have to worry about the fraying, but after you cut it, the tails off. But I just don't like fooling with the fray when I'm working with the mesh either, so I always use my wood burner now. I love using my wood burner, and it helps me keep more precise with my cuts, the size of them. So, but this is 10 by 10.5. Usually with flowers, I would do 10 by 10 if I'm not doing a large number of petals. But since I did a large number and I'm using 21-inch wide, I cut it at 10.5 by 10. So, see how that rolls up like that? That's how you want to lay your mesh down. Then you want to put it in the shape of a diamond, like this. Pull this top corner and bring it to the bottom corner. Now, you line it up the best you can. And mesh, you can tug at it and pull at it, stretch it a little bit to get it lined up. I mean, as close as you can. I mean, I could get it pretty close if I tug at it and pull at it and stretch it. So this is the denim blue, because the lighter blue in the rainbow comes before the darker blue in the rainbow, the indigo. So, and now this is the royal blue that I'm using in place of the indigo. So again, take this corner, put it on the corner here, okay, and this is in a diamond shape as well. as you can see. I'm going to take this top corner and I'm going to bring it down. So now I've got it like this on top of each other. And I want these lines up here to be uniform and snug. So I'm going to bring my fingers through here and kind of make sure I press them together. And when I come to the tail on this side, I hold it like this. I pull that tail down, and now that tail, see, there's the four corners that I brought together, and this tail comes over the four corners about an inch. So that's how far I bring the tails over the bottom corners. Now to keep this snug, I'm going to hold this and then use these fingers to walk along that to keep it as uniform as I can, and then get the tail and bring it down here to meet the other tail. Now when you first do this, it's not perfect. It's lopsided, as you can see. That's alright, because I can work with it and get it the way I want it. You just got to be boss when it comes to the mesh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tug this lighter blue up, pull it some to line up with the darker blue to try to even that out. It's still not even, but a trick I've learned is if I bring that tail on over the last tail, I get it even. So that is just a trick that, or a tip. Now you get it like this. I think this kind of looks like a lady's shawl or something, but you hold it like this. Then you take this hand with these fingers and you bring it around, and these two corners, or whatever you want to call them here, meet, and then you squeeze it. Now this is what the front's going to look like when you first do it. And this isn't exactly how I want it to look, so I'm going to work with it a little bit. Because I want these to match as best as I can get, as far as in the shape, how big and how wide it is, how elongated it is. So I need to work with this petal some. So the blue here is sticking out, and I don't want it sticking out like that. So I'm going to get a hold of the lighter blue, and I'm going to tug at it, and pull it, and push that darker blue in as best I can. Okay? Now, that's close. Not exactly, but I'm not finished, because I haven't got the zip tie on yet. Take the zip tie like that. Now, if you don't know how to do a zip tie, and you may not believe it, but there are some people who don't know how to do a zip tie. Hi, Janice. This is how you do it. Okay, you see the head. It's flat on one side and it sticks out on the other. And then here's the tail. Now you want to take the tail and put it through the flat side and pull it until you hear it zip. If you take it and you put it through the side that sticks out, it won't work. I can't even get it through there. So you hear that, but it won't stay in there to come out. So it won't work that way anyways. So, hi Sandra. So you put this around while you're holding the petal. Start to zip it, but don't zip it all the way. You want to leave it loose until you get the petal the way you want it to look. And I'll leave it loose because, you know, I may have to move the zip tie up or down to get the same shape and size as this one. So that's why I don't zip it all the way. I need it loose in case I have to move it. Okay. That's a little wider. This is wider than this one, so I'm going to have to pull the zip tie up a little bit. And then I'll slowly start to zip it as I work with the petal tug at it. Now, one thing usually in the back, you saw where I brought those two corners together when I put my hand around it. Usually, most of the time, 99% of the time, I'll zip it right on that or right above it, but not all the time, because sometimes there are petals that I don't have to, to get them to look the same, I have to zip it a little bit lower, but not too much lower. So, let's see. Even after you zip it, I think I've got it pretty close. Or I don't know, that's a little, well, look here. If you can see, this is kind of not very snug, the light blue, not very snug with that. So I want to pull this down. This is another reason why I don't tighten the zip tie all the way. I need to pull the light blue down and then stretch the dark blue up to make them snug like I want them. And since I've got the zip tie still loose, I can do that. If I had the zip tie tied all the way, I wouldn't be able to do that. So since I've got it the way I want it, I'll zip it all the way, clip that off. Hi, Kathy. Okay, so now, see, they look similar. They don't look perfect, but they look similar. Another thing that you can do, there are a couple ways you can do the petals. You can make them wider by pushing the petal down like this, and it will make it wider. Or you can go like this and elongate the petal, make it look longer. And when you put it on the flower, where I'm going to have so many petals on the flower, they are going to push against each other, and they're basically going to look like that, more elongated. So that's how you make the petal. Now I'm going to start putting these on, and as I go on, I still have 3 more petals that I haven't made that I've saved. So as I go and start each row of petals, I'll show you again how to make the petal for anyone new who comes on. So we're going to get started on this baby, and I hope all of you will stay with me as long as it takes to do this. Let's see, like I said, I'm not using this row. For one thing, it would make it would mess up the way I've got the colors together, because I have to have the rows come down here. So if I did this row with the red and orange, I wouldn't have anything to put in this row. So that's why I'm not using this row. So I've got my petal, and after you make the petal, you want to cut the tail off for sure, but you don't want to cut it too short, because you're going to need that tail to stick through the zip tie on the board to hold it. So I will cut the tail off when that's where the waste comes from, is when you have to cut the tails off. That's where a lot of waste comes from. But like I said, it's cheaper if you get the 21-inch roll of wide roll of mesh to do that, to use, instead of the 10-inch. So I'm just going to start putting these on here. Now I'm using the second circumference, and I hope you all can see what I'm doing. And now another tip I've learned when I do these flowers and I've got these tails, it is best, you don't have to preload. You can load as you go, but when you got these tails, if you don't preload this one, at least the row in front of this where I'm going to put this tail, you will have trouble getting, see, watch, I'm putting this tail through here. Well, if I can get it in there. And see, the tail is a good length, so it pushes over the holes in the next row that I will be using to put my petals. So if I didn't go on ahead and put that zip tie in, I would spend too much time looking for those holes to get my zip tie in. I have done where I've done all the circumference with petals like this, and I didn't preload it, and it took me, wasted too much time trying to find these holes in the next row to put my zip ties. So I always preload the row in front of the one I'm doing. So since I've got a lot of these made, it shouldn't take me long to get these together. Now, one thing, when you're putting the petals in, you want to make sure that they match here. It's not as important to put to line the zip ties up, because that's not what people are going to see. It's important to line the tip up, because you don't want it all wonky and out of shape and one be higher than the other and all that. You want them to line up so it will look uniform. So like this, zip that. And sometimes if it sticks out too far, I can just always pull that in. And if you're worried about it sliding out, you can put a dab of glue over the zip ties to give you so you can be more confident that it won't. But so I've got those lined up. Now, all right, Kathy. Hi, Pat. Now, is there anyone watching who has been to the Ark Encounter? It is in Williamstown, Kentucky. It's about 2 hours away from us. We went when it first opened. So they were still building, and they're still adding a lot to it. They've added quite a bit to it since we went, and I want to go back. I want to go for Christmas. We usually go to the Creation Museum for Christmas for the lights and everything. But I'd like to go to the Ark maybe this year for the Christmas lights. The Ark is closer to us where we live than the Creation Museum. But I love the Ark. I mean, it is, like I said, it's just breathtaking when you first see it. And it brings the Bible to life, really, because it is life-size. It is actual measurements. So, if you haven't went, I highly recommend that you do. You will be wowed. And it's not just the outside of the Ark. You go inside the Ark, and they have the inside of the Ark set up. You walk around. There are different levels in the Ark. And in each level, they've got set up like how Noah would have had it set up. Like where the animal cages were, the bird cages, where their living quarters were. And they've got, they're like, I guess the best way to describe it is they're wax figurines, but they are animated figurines of Noah and his family. And they actually, you can push buttons and they can talk, and because they have a recording and all this. And you can just walk around and look around, and it's just like, wow. It's really amazing. And here recently they've added a playground outside for the children, and they've made it to where it will be accessible for any child that has a disability or anything. So, that's really good. But yeah, people come from all over to visit the Ark. So, this is how it's looking so far. Hi, Cindy from New York. I don't know if they're perfect petals. I try to get them to match the best I can, but it took a lot of. I worked on these for like a little each day for a week. Seriously, I had planned on doing this live last Friday, but I didn't have the blue I needed for the light blue, so I had to order some from Craft Outlet. That's where all my deco mesh is from, Craft Outlet. So I had to wait for that to come in. So I had my red and orange and yellow and green petals made last week, but then I had to wait on the blue and the purple petals to come in to make those. But hi, Shirley. Oh, wow, Barbara. I know Independence, Kentucky. Then we don't live that far from each other. Then you live about 2 hours and a half from me, because I live about 2 hours from the Ark. I'm southeast Kentucky. Man, if I lived that close to the Ark, I'd be going all the time. But then I'd probably buy season passes. Thank you, Judy. I'd probably buy season passes and go to the Ark all the time if I lived that close. But now, I know this is going to be a silly question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Is there anyone who's watching who has never seen a rainbow? I mean, I doubt it, but I'm just asking. I mean, rainbows, after it storms, I don't know how many I've seen in my lifetime. It's just countless. You know, I just don't know how many. But every time I see a rainbow, I just like am in awe of it. And it's like, I never get tired of seeing a rainbow. I'm like a little kid seeing it for the first time. I get so excited if I see a rainbow. It's just beautiful. And artwork, God is the master creator, the master artist. But every time I see one, I just feel like peaceful, joy, can't help but smile, and just in awe of it. And when it storms, like if I'm home and it storms, I always go looking on the east side of my house, because every time it storms, if there's a rainbow, it's always on the east side of my house. So I know where to go look if it storms here at my house. I know where to go look for the rainbow. Every time. Cindy, I showed the petal before I started, but when I go to the next row, I'll show how to do the petal again. So, Covington. Cool, Michelle. You're not that far from me. Well, a couple hours from me, but we had to take my daughter to Cincinnati a lot, so we passed through there. A triple rainbow. I've seen double rainbows, but I've never seen a triple rainbow, Judy. That would be something special. I've never personally seen a complete round rainbow where the edge, it's just complete circle, the edges touch or whatever. I've never seen one in person, but I've seen pictures of one, and it's pretty awesome. But the rainbow is a symbol of God's covenant to us, given in Genesis 9, verses 13 through 15, where he says, I've set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. When I bring clouds over the earth and the bow is seen in the clouds, I will remember my covenant that it is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. And the waters shall never again become a flood to destroy all flesh. So when I see a rainbow, I remember God's covenant, and I believe that's why when I see a rainbow, I feel peace and joy. This petal is a daisy petal, and I learned it from J Cat's creation on YouTube. That's who I saw make this petal and how I learned it. We're at in Lexington, Michelle. I go to Lexington a lot too. I have doctor's appointments and all that. Do you have the hose doubled up? No, I went on ahead and, oh, well, yeah, I have the zip ties in. I went and I drilled extra holes in the board because if you notice, the holes that were already in the board, well, in this first circumference, I didn't drill extra holes. But if you notice, this is where you would normally put your petal, but I'm adding extra petals to fill in so you won't see the board. So I'm having to double use these holes. And you see how much wider that is? So like I said, if you're afraid that the petal is going to come slide out, you put glue on it. But this row I drilled in for this. It wasn't here. I added extra. All I did was follow these holes and drilled. I went in between, which is I think around an inch if I remember correctly. I'm not absolutely positive, but I went directly in the center. This is a circumference that comes on the board. This comes on the board. This one wasn't on the board. I drilled this one, so I followed these lines and drilled in the center. So that's what it did. But yeah, and each hole has 2 zip ties through it. On Boston Road. I don't know where that's at. No, Denise, it is a Unique in the Creek large flower board. And if you're interested in trying one of these, buying one, you can go to uniqueinthecreek.com and order the boards from them. Well, my zip tie got stuck. Order the boards from their website. Use my promo code Country Door, all one word, all capital letters, and you get 10% off. Or you can order them from Craft Outlet, which I've been checking Craft Outlet and they've been sold out all week. I mean, every time I've went, they've been sold out of the flower boards on Craft Outlet. But you can order them from Craft Outlet. You can order them from Amazon. You can order them from Trendy Tree. And I think they're going to be in Michael's really soon as well. So, but like I said, if you go to uniqueinthecreek.com and use my code, you'll get 10% off your order. Okay. I may go back when I'm done with this row and put a little bit of glue on these to secure them. But this is what it's looking like so far. Now, if you notice, I'm trying to make sure that one might be sticking out a little bit too far. I'm trying to make sure they line up. That one, I don't know, maybe sticking out a little bit too far. Or it might just be because I'm looking at it backwards in the phone. But that's what it's looking like so far. But yeah, I'll probably definitely go back and put a dab of glue on these to hold these to make sure they don't slide out. But like I said, as you start putting all these in, they're going to push against each other and elongate. And this is how I wanted it. You could just put, I don't know, I've never done it that way. I've always made my flowers like this way with a lot of petals. I don't know if you could put these in every other one and make them wider. I say that would work. too, and you wouldn't have to need as many petals as I'm using. But for some reason, I get these things in my head, these ideals, and it's like my creativity goes overboard. And it's like, oh, I want to do that. And I start planning it out. And then when I'm in the middle of it, I'm like, man, what did I get myself into? So, you're welcome, Denise. Thank you, Milena. I hope I said that right. This is a daisy petal. I thought so because yes, Denise, I have a YouTube channel. It's under the same name, Tina's Country Door. But I also have, you can go to my page, Tina's Country Door, and I have shared videos from my YouTube channel on my page. So you click on those videos. I've shared tutorials that I have on my YouTube channel on my page. You click on those and it'll take you to my YouTube channel, so you can subscribe if you want to. And I would really appreciate that. The YouTube channel I have right now, I haven't had that long, so I don't have a lot of subscribers right now. And I still have a lot of videos to add. I've got a lot of Facebook Lives and tutorials I've done that I haven't had time to get around to adding to my YouTube channel yet. And I'm trying to do all the social media. Facebook is my big thing. And I've had Instagram forever. Now Twitter, I'm not a Twitter person. I try, and I've got a Twitter account, but I'm just not a Twitter person. So, even though I've got an account, I don't do it on a daily thing. It's not a daily thing for me. And then I have Pinterest that I just started. I also have the link to my Pinterest posted somewhere on my Facebook page. And I just started it too, so I don't have a lot of boards pinned to my boards on Pinterest yet. And that's not something I do every day either. I'm mainly Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So, all right. Now, I talked about how the rainbow is a covenant from God, that He wouldn't flood the earth again. But the rainbow is also a symbol of the covenant of grace. It is a symbol of Christ Himself. The God of the Bible is a God of infinite mercy and grace. And we see that through Jesus Christ. See how it's coming along? Now, I was worried where I put the orange and the red. I'm like, I hope that doesn't hide the red. I hope you can still see the red. But I mean, if I need to, I might just pull the orange out and each color out so you can see the color. Make sure each color shows. But anyways, no, I'm not using ribbon. This is Deco Mesh Jill. But as I was talking about, how the rainbow points to Jesus Christ. Just as Noah and his family had to go through the door of the ark to be saved, so we had to go through the door, the only door, which is Jesus Christ, to be saved. And you can find that in John chapter 6, verse 9. Now when I finish this row, I will show, before I start on the other row, I will show how to do the petal again. Oh, that's sliding out. So I'm definitely going to have to put glue there. Ugh. I am Alberta. Before I start the next row, I will show you how to do the petal again. So, I mean, I showed it when I first started, but I saved a few to show you before I start each row for anyone who comes on late. I need to get me one of those cable ties, is that what it's called? To help me with the zip ties. With my hands. Zip ties tear my hands up and hurt. That way I don't have to worry about pulling a zip tie with the needle nose pliers or clipping the tail off, because I think the cable tie does it for you. Right? That's alright, Alberta. I'm just glad you joined. Hi, Deidre, is that how you say it? Now the past few days, it's been, well actually the past couple weeks it seems like every week we've been having storms. Thunderstorms, rain, and all that. So when it storms here or whatever and it rains, I usually always go to the east side of my house and look out a window to see if I see the rainbow, because I know where to look, and I haven't seen one yet. But that doesn't mean it's not there. Maybe it's just too light for me to see. And I cannot wait to get to the center. I'm so excited about the center of this flower wreath. So excited. And it's going to look so good with these colors. So good. And I'm so thankful that the people from Answers in Genesis gave me permission to use their photos. I made sure to email them about it and ask them before I used it, because I didn't want to infringe on any copyrights. And they were gracious to let me, so I really appreciate that, because it is a pretty awesome center that I made for this. And it's all about the picture, not me. Not that I made it, but the picture that I made, that I put on the canvas, is what's making it pretty spectacular. The colors and all that in the picture. I'm definitely going to have to put glue on these. Yeah, that's what I called it a cable tie. I don't know why, but yeah, I was wanting to look into getting a zip tie gun, Barbara. What part of Michigan, Michelle? Hi from Arizona. Esmeralda, is that how you say it? Sorry it's storming. I hate storms. I remember my grandparents lived in Michigan. I actually was born in Michigan. My grandparents lived in Michigan. And I remember going to visit them not too long ago. Well, actually it's been longer than my grandfather passed away in 2004, but it seems like it was just yesterday. But I went to visit my grandmother after that, and I remember she lived on White Lake in Pontiac, and I remember the sirens going off. It scared me to death. But yeah, they lived right on, at White Lake. I was born in Pontiac at the hospital, and then my mom married and moved to Kentucky. Now this is what it's looking like from Coventry, Ohio. Well, hello Regina, I'm glad you found me. I'm getting ready right now, friend, to show you how to make the petal again. But this is what it's looking like. Let me back up. So far, I hope the orange doesn't hide the red. I might have to go and pull this out, the orange out a little bit. So we'll see when it's all done. One thing I wanted to do, I wanted to put some lights on the board. I thought it would be really cool if I had lights. And I had a string of lights that I was going to put on the board. I got the lights out, put batteries in it to see if they'd work, and they didn't work. So I didn't have any lights to put on the board. But I could probably, most likely, still be able to buy some lights and put on the board even after I'm finished. But I think it would be pretty cool to have lights, and so you turn it on and just shine. I think that would be pretty cool. Roseville, north of Detroit. I've been to Detroit once, and I didn't drive. So small world, Michelle. Hi from Strongville, Ohio. Thank you, Nancy. Okay, so I've got the red and the orange all in there. Now before I start the green and the yellow, I will show you how to make the petal again. I've got all the green and yellow petals made, so I'm going to have to show you using the blues. I forgot when I was making the petals to save some to show, so when I got to the blues and the purple, I thought, well, I'll just save some of these to show people how to make the petals. Alright, so do I sell the boards? Are you talking about the Unique and the Creek boards, Judy? Okay, I use 21-inch wide roll of deco mesh. I cut it using my wood burner because I hate frays at 10 inches, and then after I cut it at 10 inches, I cut it in the middle, which makes it 10 and a half. So this is 10 by 10 and a half. Now if you want to have a perfect square, you can cut that extra ½ inch off. I mean, it's your preference, but I didn't want to fool with it, so I just left it 10 and a half because it works just as well as just having, you know, the 10 by 10. So you want to make sure it where it curls up on the top. Turn it like this, like a diamond shape. Okay. Bring this top corner down to this bottom corner. And then I like to pull and tug at the mesh to line this up as best I can get it to line up. It's never going to line up perfect. Never. Because it's not a perfect square, and even if it was a perfect square, it still wouldn't line up perfectly. Yes, Judy, I sell the flowers I make. You can get on my page, Tina's Country Door, and go to my photo albums and click on the album titled My Wreaths. And I've got the wreaths that I've made. Some I still have for sale, some I've sold, but I take orders. So you can check that out if you want to. Yes, Pamela, you can use 10-inch mesh. I mean, it's easier to use a 10-inch wide mesh, roll of mesh, because it's less cutting, but it's cheaper to use the 21-inch roll of mesh. So that's why I do the 21-inch roll. And where I use a wood burner, it's less fraying. So that's why that's just what I like. But anyways, back to what I was doing, showing you the petal. So now the first petal I've got like this. Now I'm going to take the second piece of mesh that I cut, 10 by 10 and a half, and I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to place it over this corner right here. And when I spread this out, now you want to make sure it's curled up. When I spread this out, it's going to be in a diamond shape also. You bring this top corner, you put it over this bottom corner. And then you pull and tug at it to try to line these up the best you can. I push it down, and I want to try to line these up the best I can, so I'll push on them to make them uniform to each other. And then I'll take my fingers like this, and I'll do that until I come to the end of the tail. Alright, then while I'm holding it with my hand, I bring this curved around to meet that point, but it goes over, here's the point, the four corners. This tail goes over the corners about 1 inch, okay? Now I hold that, and I'll come up here and I'll walk along this, to try to keep those lines snug to each other. And then I'll pull this this tail down to meet the other tail. Now when you first do that, it's not going to be perfect. You see it's a little lopsided here, but I can fix that. I just go and I just tug at it and push it and manipulate it and show it who's boss, right? Until I get it like I want it. So see, now, that's how I want it. Sorry you guys, my mom was just trying to call. Thought I put my phone on do not disturb, but I don't know. I'll have to call her back when the live's over with, unless she's watching the live. If you are, Mom, I'll call you back when I'm done. Well, hi, Janet. I'm glad you found me. So, okay. I've got it's like that. That's what it's looking like. I put my pointer finger and my thumb holding it like this. Okay. Then I take this hand, spread it out like this. I bring it around, and I take these corners right here, and I touch them, and then I squeeze. Okay? And I hold it. Then I turn it around, and where I always keep one I've already made on hand, so I can look at them to see how much I need to work with it to make it look like the one I've already made. See, this right here isn't snug, so I need to pull that, make it more snug, and make it the same size. So I've got to work with the pedal a little bit to do that. But I can go on ahead, and you can, if it hurts your hands to grip this, you can go on ahead and start zip tie on it, but don't zip it all the way. So to put the zip tie, I just put it under my finger, come around like that. Sometimes I have trouble starting the zip tie. Will you guys hold on just a second, please? My mom keeps trying to call me. Will one of you guys answer the phone and tell Mom I'm on a live? She keeps calling my cell phone. Alright. My mom keeps calling. Sorry, I had to do that. Okay, back to what I was showing you. So I've got the zip tie on there, but I'm not zipping it all the way. I need it to still be loose a little bit, because I might have to move it up or down and work on shaping the pedal. See, it doesn't look, it's too wide, it's wider than the one I've already made. I need to work on that. So my thumb could fit between the zip tie and the pedal. So that's how I need it. So what I'm gonna do, now these are the two tails. I want to make sure this tail isn't overlapping that tail here. I want to make sure they're separated. If you can see that. And the reason I don't zip it all the way is because I may need to move the zip tie up or down. And this is not snug, so I want to make sure this is snug. So I'm going to get a hold of that tail of the outside piece of mesh, and I'm going to pull it tight like that and work this in like that to make it snug, and I'll do that on both sides. Then I will look to see how close they are, and I think the zip tie needs to go up just a little bit more. So again, it's important not to zip it all the way. And I think that looks pretty close. And when I do, I just zip it a little bit at a time. I don't just all of a sudden just zip it. I do a little bit at a time. That's how I know a lot of people tell me that my pedals look like almost perfect, and they're not perfect, but that's how I get them to look as close as I do, because I'm continually working with the pedal as I go along. So, and I'm always referring to pedals I've made, putting them beside each other to make sure they match, which this one I think is too wide. So I need to pull the outside tail to pull that tighter. And I think that's pretty close. Well, this one, if it's too wide, I can just do this to elongate it a little bit and make it match up more. So that's how you make the pedal. Now I'll put in this green and yellow row, and then before I start the next row, I'll show you how to make the petal again. So before I start each row, I'll show you how to make the petal. Now my advice was to always preload the row in front of the row you're doing, because it's hard to find the holes and get the zip ties pushed through these tails. But I'm not doing that with this flower because a lot of times I've made these flowers or other flowers where they have tails like this, and I made too many of the petals and I put too many where I preloaded it. I had to clip a lot of the zip ties out because I didn't use them, so I wasted a lot of my zip ties, and I made more petals than I needed. So when I get to this row that I haven't preloaded, I will have to do that as I go, so I don't waste zip ties. And I've got 26 flower petals made. I may not use all of them, or I may need more. If I need more, I'll just cut some and make some more, but it won't, yeah. So I'll worry about that when I get to it. So now we're doing the yellow and the green. Teresa, when I get finished with this row, I will make another one. Are you talking about the petal? It does. It is, Jill. It's amazing how some people come up with these ideas for flowers. Sammy, I am making a rainbow flower, but instead of having like a bud center or whatever, I made this center to put in it. This is going to be the center of my rainbow flower. And I'm making it on a Unique in the Creek large flower board. Okay, so the green and the yellow. Just like I just showed you how to make these petals. Oh, wait. Almost forgot. I wanted to add a little bit of glue on these so they won't slide out to secure them. I mean, they probably don't really need it, but I want to just have peace of mind that it feels safe. Now if my glue will come out. So I'm just going to put glue on these. And I try to put the glue, make sure the glue touches the zip ties and the mesh, because that will solidify and hold those together. Now, don't want to work. And I mean, you're not going to be able to see this when I fill it in with the other petals. And you're not going to be able to see the zip ties either. So just a little bit on each one. I go over the zip tie that's on the petal and the zip tie that's on the board. And as it cools, it hardens and solidifies. Gives me a little bit extra security to hold those petals on there. Now doing this, you can go through a lot of glue if you got a lot of petals. Okay, that's all over them. Thank you, Judy. All right, now we're going to start with the yellow and green. I want to make sure some of this glue has cooled down, because I've burnt myself too many times with the hot glue. And if you're a crafter and you use a hot glue gun, then you know what I'm talking about. So I don't want to accidentally touch any of that glue. Alright. So I've already got the zip ties for this row preloaded. And I just start sticking these in there like I did with the last row. The tails through the zip ties. Now, with these petals, I'm going to try to Here's the zip tie on the pedal. I'm going to try to put the zip tie on the board above the zip tie on the pedal, and that will secure it from sliding out. So that's what I'm going to see if it'll be, I don't know if that would be long enough. No, I'm going to have to go under the zip tie for this to stick out far enough to match up with those. I'm going to have to go under the zip tie. So. So our weather has been crazy. It was so hot and humid today, and we've had storms, rain, which really, I guess it's no different than it usually is, because weather in Kentucky is always crazy. And then next week it's supposed to be, they call it fake fall. I've never heard it called that. Next week it's supposed to get down to like 70 or something, and the news actually called it fake fall. So it's supposed to be fall-like weather. That's something to look forward to. Janet, I will make another pedal as soon as I get this row finished. I've already made two. I'm going to make one before each row. Because as more people come on, that way they can see it. And then the people who've already been watching from the beginning, they've already seen me make them a couple times. So I will make another pedal before each row. Okay. Now you're welcome, Janet. Now where I'm putting the zip tie on the board, under the zip tie on the pedal, I'll probably put glue over this too. Now something that I had never seen before as far as rainbow. My grandfather died too many years ago. It seems like it was just yesterday, but it's been a long time. And we always have had a family reunion every year. The weekend of Father's Day, which happens to be my birthday weekend too. But our whole family, my aunts and uncle and cousins, we'd all get together with my grandparents. We'd have a family reunion every year. Well, the year he died, it was just a couple months before our family reunion. So we all really weren't feeling the family reunion. But we had it anyways. It was in Michigan where my grandparents lived at White Lake. And we were all, we tried to enjoy it the best we could, but we were all down. But then, and it didn't rain that day. There was no rain that day. We were outside. Oh, I can't remember who it was. Someone looked up and they're like, oh, look at that. And everyone looked up and there was an upside down rainbow. I had never seen an upside down rainbow before. Never. But I got a picture of it. Upside down. And it hadn't rained or anything, so it was just very unusual. But after that, we just kind of, I don't know, it helped us, I guess, give us peace a little bit, if more than, better than what we were already feeling. So thank you, Snooks. Well, Teresa, the red, orange, yellow, and green, using 21-inch wide roll of mesh. I cut 16 10-inch cuts off the row. So I'll use not even, there's 30, you can get 36 10-inch cuts off a roll of mesh if, you know, it's true to what it claims to be, which is 30 feet long. Because there's 360 inches in a roll of mesh supposed to be. So you could get 36 10-inch cuts. And I only had to get, cut 16 10-inch cuts off the 21-inch roll of mesh. So I didn't even use quite a full half a roll. That's of the red, orange, yellow, and green. Now with the blues and the purple, it's different. I don't know how much total I'm using on that yet because I haven't made all those petals. And I'm just going to be playing it as I go along. So we won't know until I'm finished with it. How many zip ties? I haven't counted that either, Carol, because I've put a zip tie on every petal. And then I put a zip tie on the board for every petal. There have been zip ties that I've had to clip off because I've made mistakes. So I haven't kept count. But when I'm finished, I can count how many petals and times that by 2. And that's how many zip ties I would have used for on the flower. So some of these numbers I won't have until after I'm finished with the flower. Let's pull some of these over here. Now, with the zip ties I've got, where they're 5.5 inches long, I do wish I had longer ones because it is a tight fit. But these are the ones I have on hand. So these are the ones I'm using. I mean, I had already ordered a couple bags of these, so I'm going to use them, you know, but when I go to order more, I want to try to get them longer, but it's important to keep the 18-pound. So, but I'm going to try to get them longer because the 5.5-inch long zip ties can be a little too short at times. Especially when you're like here, you can see where the zip tie stretches that far, that shortens it for me to push the petal in there. So I need just a little bit longer zip ties. Where do I buy the zip ties? I get them on Amazon. At the beginning of the video, you go back and watch the replay, and I showed the bag of the zip ties I buy, and it's got the number, the order number, and all that, or the item number on it. So you can take that item number, go to Amazon, type that in, and it will bring up the zip ties that I order, that I use. So I showed that at the beginning of the video. So when this is finished, the video will stay on my page. You'll be able to watch it however many times you want. And all of that I showed already. Now, one thing, so this is why the closer I come into the center, the tighter these petals are going to be pushed against each other. That's why I didn't make all the blue and the purple yet, because see, if you look at this, I'm not going to be able to use all of the yellow and green I made, because if you look at this, it's pushing it. These are so already tight, it's pushing this one, making it lopsided and bent wrong. I don't want it looking like that. So I'm going to clip this petal off, and I'm going to skip that, and I'm going to go to the next one, because I don't want it looking like that. Let me find. So that's why I didn't preload for all the blue and the purple, because I know I'm not going to use every hole that's in this board for that reason exactly. Because once I start putting all them in there and they start pushing against each other, it's going to reshape the petal. But I'd rather have the holes drilled in it in case I need them, instead of not having them in there and needing them. I'm not like that's. Ooh, I'm not liking that. It's being pushed over. They're pressing against each other too much. See, the one good thing too, with mesh you can push it and reshape it, and so. And with these petals, you don't have to worry about handling it too much and it causes it to fray because you don't even see the ends of the mesh. So. Hi, Sharon. Now let's see if I need. Now see, I skipped that. I didn't use the hole that I had planned on using. I had to clip that zip tie off because this was pushing too against the other petal too much. Now I'm using the next one over, right next to this one, but I most likely will have to clip this zip tie off after this one because it will probably be too tight. Because as you go closer to the center, it gets tighter together, so you don't use as many petals as you do on the outside. So that's why I didn't make all of the purple and blue, and I didn't preload all of the holes in the inner 2 rows of holes that I'm using. Now with the yellow, I thought for sure that I'd be using all them, but it doesn't matter. I didn't think I would have trouble with them being squashed too close together. I'm not, it's bothering me a little bit. Anyone who usually watches me knows that I'm a perfectionist, and if something, if it's not the way I want, it irritates me a little bit, but I just have to learn to accept it and go on. Do the best I can. That's all we can do, right? And I am my worst critic. Sometimes it amazes me when something I've made and someone sees it and tells me that it's beautiful or awesome. It's like, wow, I can't, I made that, I didn't. It's just, I don't know. To think that I could make something so pretty that someone would think it was beautiful. What I'm going to do, another tip. Hi, Christine. Another tip, and I've shared this in other videos. See, I started it here, and I started coming around, and they've been pushing each other this way. So I'm not going to put any more here and come on around up, because if I do that, it's going to continue to push the petals that way till it gets up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up here at the top and start adding the petals and coming down this way, so they'll come together at the bottom. Whoops. And this side will push against this. They'll push against each other at the bottom instead of them all being pushed that way, if that makes sense. Oh, thank you, Barbara. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to start adding them here and coming around to bring them together down here, because these are starting to slant this way, and I don't want that. So, and I usually do this with all my flowers like this. I don't go like this on the outside. I went all the way around it. But when I start getting into the smaller circles, I'll do a little bit up here at the top and then down the side a little bit, but then I'll come to the bottom or whatever, and I won't go all the way around because of the pushing, petals pushing against petals and causing them to slant. Now that petal is in there too far. See, one good thing about putting the zip tie on the board under the zip tie on the petal is if the petal is shorter than the other petals, it's not sticking out far enough, you can slide it out a little bit more. But if you had a zip tie on the board over the zip tie on the petal, you wouldn't be able to slide it out to line it up. So that is one good thing about putting the zip tie on the board under the zip tie on the petal. That still doesn't look long enough. Hi Tina. Hi Tammy. So for everyone who's just coming on, have any of you been to the Ark Encounter here in Kentucky in Williamstown? It is pretty amazing. That tail's too short. I'm definitely going to have to put glue on this one. That one's not sticking out. I'll definitely have to put glue on that one. Hi Dina. So have any of you been to the Ark Encounter or plan on going to the Ark Encounter? I highly recommend it. I think that tail's too short. I'll try another one. That tail's too short too. I cut the tails too short. Definitely going to have to put glue on that. And I'm going to go ahead and do that before I move on so it doesn't slide out. Because that tail is way too short. Okay. Now when I'm finished with this, I may buy some, because I really wanted to put lights on the board behind this so I could turn a light on and it shine. So I could still do that. When I finish the flower, I could still, I'm pretty sure I could still buy lights and fit them down in there somehow. I could figure it out. Maybe. It shouldn't be hard. Yeah, we went, Janet, and 3 years ago when it first opened, and so they didn't have, just burnt myself. They didn't, well, not bad, but they didn't have everything they've got now because it hadn't been open long. They were still building. So it's been 3 years, and I know they've added a lot of stuff to it, and so I want to go back. I really want to go during Christmas time because they have the Christmas lights, and they have like a little video or whatever projected onto the side of the ark. And during Christmas time, you actually get to go to the park free. You can go in the park free, but if you want to go inside the ark, you have to pay. So during Christmas time, they have that, at least they did last year, where you can go into the park free, and if you want to go on the ark, you pay. But still, even if you didn't go in the ark, and just to see it, step out of the bus, see that big, huge ark, I mean, it's just like, wow. So, and then they have a lot of stuff around on the ark. They have a playground, restaurant, and other things. They have a petting zoo. I love petting zoos. Faye, when I get finished with this row, I'm going to show how to make petals again. And I think, really, if you go see the ark, I mean, it brings, like I said before, the Bible to life. It's just like you read the stories and you try to imagine what it, you know, would have been like or look like or all that, but you can't really. And then when you go see this, and it is built to the actual measurements that's given in the Bible, it's like you don't have to imagine anymore, you see it. So, hi Barbara. And I also like, they have at not, sometimes they turn on, they have lights on that project onto the arc, the rainbow, colors of the rainbow. But I knew when I'm going to clip this zip tie off, because you can see here the pedal's pushing against this pedal and it's starting to slant. So I don't need to put a pedal on that zip tie. I'm going to go to the next one here and I'm going to clip that one off. But so when I knew, when I finally thought, well, I'm going to make a rainbow flower, I knew I wanted to make a center, a unique center for it. And I knew I wanted to use a picture. And I knew I wanted to use a picture of the arc, of the life-size arc. So that's why I emailed them to get permission to use one of their pictures. Oh, my scissors. So, and I wasn't going to use one of their pictures without asking for permission, because, you know, the copyrights and all that stuff. I didn't want to infringe on any of that. I mean, I could have used the picture and said, hey, you know, I went to the ark, I took this picture, but that would be lying. And no, I'm not gonna do that. That's lying and stealing, I believe. If you take someone else's work, something someone else has made, taken, done, whatever, and you claim it as your own, you know, that's just not right. So thank you, Barbara. So I'm thankful that they gave me permission to use their pictures. The lady sent me a link with a bunch of pictures for me to pick from. And when I saw the picture that I'm using, I knew, I'm like, that's the one. That is the one I want to use. Because it is just gorgeous and it brings out all the colors. I mean, it would have been awesome if there was a rainbow behind it. But it's a sunset and it's just as beautiful. So, let's see. So that's what we're looking like so far. I think if I got lights too and put behind these, it'd show the orange and red, each color up better too. Hi, Diane. That's all right if you're late. This will be on replay and you can go back and watch it all you want. So, this may sound like a crazy question, a silly question, because rainbows, I mean, can be found wherever after it storms or whatever. Or sometimes it doesn't even have to storm. I've seen rainbows and it hasn't stormed. But is there anybody watching that has never seen a rainbow? I mean, I know that sounds crazy, asking that question, like, well, who hasn't seen a rainbow? But I just wanted to ask. I'm not going to need that zip tie. See, this is why I didn't preload my other rows, because I would be having to clip the zip ties off and I'd be wasting zip ties. Now, it's not important to match up the zip tie on the petals. It's not important to get those beside each other. What's important is to match up the tip of the petal beside each other. You want those lined up. Don't worry about that. Worry about this. So it looks uniform. So it's not cockeyed. Yeah, someone earlier said they saw a triple rainbow. But like I said earlier, every time, I mean, I've seen countless rainbows, but every time I see one, it's like the first time. I'm just like, I just love it. I can't help but smile and get all giddy. I'm like a kid. I'm like a child when I see a rainbow. It's like, oh, look. I mean, they're spectacular. Each and every one. I don't care how many times I've seen a rainbow. Now, the closer I'm getting together here, it's getting tighter. So I'm going to start having to clip some more of these off, and I'm not going to be able to use them. So, again, that's why I didn't preload these rows, because I knew that was going to happen. I just didn't expect it to happen with this row. So I made more petals than I needed, but that's all right. If I make another rainbow, then I'll have those petals made already. Now, see, I can fit one there, but this next one beside this, I'm going to have to clip it off because it would be too tight to put a petal there. Wiggle that some until I get those tips to match. Line up. Make sure I got that pull tight nip. Okay, now this next one I'm going to clip off because I'm not going to be able to use it. It'll be too tight of a squeeze. Put the petal there. So I'm going to use not the one next to it, but the next one over. I can't read all of your comment right now, Barbara, but I will read it. I'll go back and read it after the live because I can't see all that you're saying about the day of the Oklahoma bombing. Yes, Sharon, it is our promise. I don't know if you were on at the beginning of my live. Well, a few minutes into my beginning, and I was talking about that. About the covenant, the meaning of the rainbow. How long have I been making wreaths, Judy? I haven't, it hasn't, actually, I didn't even know these boards existed until around Christmas. And it wasn't until like last September that I started making wreaths on wireframes. So I haven't even been making these kind of wreaths for a year or so. But Sharon, I was talking about that earlier. How, now, I think I'm only going to be able to fit one more petal in there. See? But I've got 2 zip ties here. And, whoops, how I'm going to clip one of these off and just put one more petal in there. But I was talking about how the rainbow is a sign of the covenant God made with us and all of creation, that he wouldn't flood the earth again, destroy the earth with flood. But also, the rainbow is a symbol of God's grace, points us to Christ. Because as there was only one door to get into the ark to be saved, there's only one door that we go through to be saved for eternity, and that's through Jesus Christ. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to make a petal in just a minute, but this is what it's looking like. Let me back up. Let's get this up here. This is what we've got so far. I need better lighting in my room. I've been getting on to my husband about that, but yeah. Alright. So now is the blue and indigo colors. And you can't find indigo deco mesh. So what I got was denim blue. It's the closest thing I could find to indigo. And then I used royal blue for the other shade of blue. So. And I made 26 of these petals. And I may not even have to use all of them. So that's why I didn't cut 32, because I knew there wasn't any way I was going to use 32 blue of the blues. Because, as I said, it's getting the circles, the circumferences are getting smaller and smaller as you get to the center of the board. So you need less petals. So, I will show you how to make the petal again before I start this row. And I'll have to use my purple colors because I've made all the blues. But this is the purple for my last row. Now, there's 7 colors in the rainbow. So I couldn't pair them up. I paired up 2 colors together. But that last color, violet, I didn't have anything to pair it up with. So I just put 2 cuts of the same color together to pair it up. So I'm using deco mesh. Faye, in the first row there are 32 petals. In the second row I just finished, I made 32 petals, but I have 5 left over. So then I only used 27. I think 32 subtract 5 is 27. So I only used 27 petals in the second row. And I'm getting started on the third row, which is the blue and indigo colors. And I'm going to show you right now how I made the petals. It's the large flower board, Charlene. Okay. The mesh, I used 21-inch wide roll of mesh because it saves money. And I think there's less waste, but 21-inch roll cut 10 inches. Then I take that 21-inch and cut it in the middle, so that's 10 and a half. So this is cut at 10 by 10 and a half. It would be easier and faster to use a 10-inch wide roll of mesh and cut it 10 by 10, but I'd rather save money than just save time. And so that's just me. You can use 10 by 10, a 10-inch wide roll if you want to, but this is how I do it. So you want to make sure it's curving up like that. Then you want to turn it in a diamond shape like this. Pull the top corner down on the bottom corner. Now also, before I get on into this, in the event for this, I did a tutorial yesterday making this petal. It's only like 9 minutes long, and it's me making this petal. So I posted that in the event, and then I shared it on my Facebook page, Tina's Country Tour. So there is a short tutorial, 9 minutes long, of me making this petal. Just if anyone else wants to check that, if anyone wants to check that out. But okay, so you take the top corner, put it over the bottom corner. This, actually, Barbara, I learned this petal from J Cat Creations on YouTube, like last year. I found her on YouTube, and she calls it the daisy petal, and that's the flower that I showed you earlier. That's where I learned the petal, was from her. So, but I know that there is a lolly petal, and it does look very similar. But yeah, I learned how to make the petal from J Cat Creations on YouTube. And then it was after I made my one flower using this petal that I saw a tutorial for the lolly petal. And yeah, they are very, very similar. Oh, don't worry about it, Barbara. It's not, it's not, you know, a big thing. So, okay. So I've got the one cut already down here. I'm going to take the second piece. I'm going to take this corner, fit it over that corner, and it's laid out in a diamond shape with it rolling up. Take the top corner, pull it down, put it over. So all four corners are on top of each other. Now I want to make sure these, they're not going to line up perfectly because they're not cut at a perfect square, but you can tug at the mesh and pull it and try to make it as uniform as you can to each other. So as I hold this with my hand, I'm going to push this down and try to line them up. And I'm going to get a hold of this here, and I'm going to like roll it over my hand. Bring that tail over the tip. See, the tips are out there of the corners, and this tail is about an inch over that. Now I hold that, turn it around, and then I use my finger and thumb to kind of press these against each other to kind of keep them tight and snug, like this. And then I bring that tail down over the the corners down here. And this is what it looks like. And another tip, sometimes when I do this, it can be lopsided. If it's lopsided, I'll just like tug at this and push it to kind of straighten it out. And even if that doesn't straighten it out, sometimes I find, because you see how this is kind of overlapping this tail, if it's lopsided, sometimes I could take this tail and bring it over this tail and it'll even it out. So that's just a tip. Okay, so after I've got it like this, I think it looks like a lady's shawl or something. I take it like this, take these fingers, and bring these corners to touch. Okay, and then I squeeze it. And then I've got that. Now, I'm not finished with it. Okay, I may say okay a lot, but that's just a habit I have when I'm trying to teach something. So please overlook that. So this is what it's looking like. Let me get one I've already made. Line beside each other, and they don't match. The one I just made is wider than the one I've already made. So I want to make it skinnier. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start the zip tie, but I'm not going to zip it all the way, okay? I'm just going to get it started. Alright. And I'm going to keep it loose in case I have to move it up or down to get the shape that I want. So I want this to be more snug, so I'm kind of like going to pull this one out and push that one in to try to get them lined up better. And I will zip it just a little bit at a time. Now this is wider than this one, so I want to elongate it. So I'm going to go like that to try to elongate it. See? That looks better. That looks more like it. So when I see that, I'm going to slowly start to zip it a little bit more at a time. So that's how I do my petals, to try to get them as perfect as I can. I don't just rush into zipping it. I take my time and just zip it a little bit at a time. And then when I'm absolutely sure I've got it the way I want it, got it matching as close as I can to the other petals, then I will finish zipping it secure. So let's look at that again. And see, when I put it on the board, they're going to squish against each other. And that's what it's going to look like. But alright. So there's that. Now I'm going to put this row on, and before I do the last row, I'll show, I've got one more petal to make that I'll show. But this is the blue and indigo colors of the rainbow. So, have I missed any comments, any questions or anything? Thank you, Charlene. I try. Now, I actually went to college to be a teacher. I don't know about being coordinated, Barbara. But yeah, I went to college to be a teacher. But before I could be accepted into the College of Education, I had to take a hearing and speech test. And I passed the speech test very good. But I failed the hearing test because I have loss of hearing due to when I was growing up, I had a lot of ear infections. And so it's caused a little hearing loss. I didn't pass the hearing test, and so they wouldn't accept me into the College of Education, so I had to change my major. But now getting back to my flower. Can you see back here? Red and orange, yellow and green. This is for the blue and indigo. This is for the purple. And I don't have these preloaded because I have no idea how many petals I'm actually going to use. So I'm going to load them as I go along. Now it's going to be a little frustrating. It can be, because these tails, the tails from this are covering those holes. So I'm going to have to dig the zip ties through those tails to get them, in there. I mean, that's why I like to preload when it comes to petals like this with the tails. But where there are so many petals and I don't really know the exact number of petals I'm going to use, I don't want to waste zip ties. So that's why I didn't preload this one. And before I forget, I was going to put glue over these so they don't slide out, because some of the tails were too short. Can tell what, Charlene? Try one of these, Janet. I actually am considering, I have not made up my mind, but I thought about making a kit with this. That means I would buy everything, put everything together, box it up, and ship it to you guys so you can make your own. But I haven't made up my mind yet because I don't know. It's a lot of work to put a kit together. You have to buy all the mesh, you have to buy all the materials and everything, and figure all the costs and everything out. And so I don't know if anyone would actually, would want to try to do this as a kit. But okay, so I'm gonna put glue over the zip ties. Well, I didn't get to graduate from college with a degree in education. I did graduate with a bachelor's in psychology. But after that, I became a teacher at an early learning center. It wasn't a Head Start, but it was like from infants and then older. And I had the toddlers. And so, every day I would do the fun stuff with them that I learned when I went to college. So I did get to use some of my learning when I was a teacher at the early learning center. And I really enjoyed it. I had fun. I would take them out and we'd gather leaves in the fall. Color. I think one of my favorite times was story time. They really liked when I read to them. And my favorite book to read to them was The Little Caterpillar. I don't know why, but they really liked that book. So, and I did that for a while. But then I had to quit because things happened, got sick and all that. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. So now, I'm going to try I have this zip tie preloaded. I'm going to try to go ahead and load a zip tie next to this one, because when I get that tail in there, it's going to be hard to find that. Because I'm pretty sure if I put that there, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get another one there. So I'm going to load a zip tie on this side before I put that in so I can see the holes better. Because once I get that tail in there, I'm going to be digging for the holes in the board. One thing I like about the heads on these is they're so small, they'll come right through the holes on the board, see? So I just go back here and I push it through, and find it where it's coming through that tail, glue on me. See, got that. Then I take the tail, push it through, find it. Okay, so I've got that. No, I don't work now, Barbara. You would like to try one of these, Janet? Shipping, well, that's the thing. Yeah, the shipping rates have went up, but a lot of wreathers use 24 by 24 by 6 boxes, and I always use 22 by 22 by 6, and it is cheaper. And also, if you I invoice through PayPal, everything. I invoice through PayPal, and so I get a little bit of a discount through PayPal since I invoice through there. And or if you take it to the post office, if you actually take it into the post office and you pay for postage there, you can get retail ground, and it's cheaper to go into the post office and pay for it. Then like with Etsy and stuff, I don't do Etsy. I don't do that. But I've heard a lot about people having trouble with the shipping and Etsy, that it's so much. And tips that I saw people give is to take the package into the post office instead of using Etsy's shipping calculator, because it's cheaper. So that's just I watched the tip. See, it was Southern Charm yesterday. If you go check out her channel or her page, she did a video. I saw a video that she posted about shipping, tips on how to help with the shipping cost where they've raised it. So, and there are other people who posted tips about shipping as well. Now see, where this tail's long, pushing this zip tie is where my purple's gonna go. So I'm gonna have a time and a half with this, and where I can't preload this because I don't know how many purples I'm gonna use, I'm gonna be doing some digging. Yes, I always use 18-pound zip ties. Yep, Charlene, I do love to teach. But even if, which most of my wreaths measure about 24 inches wide, but I can fit them in a 22-inch box, and it not hurt the wreath. I just can curve up the petals and put a note in the box to let the person know, when you get it out of the box, you may need to reshape the petals. But I can make it fit into a 22 by 22 box, and it is cheaper than a 24 by 24. In which I have made some big wreaths. I made one, my Ophelia flower. My Ophelia flower is 26 by 26 by 6. So that's a big wreath. So shipping that one, I could fit it in a 24 by 24 box. I mean, it would push the petals up a little bit. But that's not bad, because in the Ophelia flower, I want the petals to stick up a little bit. But yeah, my Ophelia flower is I think one of the biggest wreaths, is the biggest wreath that I've made. Yes, you can preload them without zipping them. You don't have to zip them when you preload. I just find when I do that, sometimes they can slide out, and I just get frustrated, and they all over the place. Because I've had them when I've been working on a wreath, and I preloaded it, but I didn't zip them, and the board was sliding, and they were just falling out. When my board would go like this, they'd just fall out on the floor. So, but yeah, you can certainly do that. Now it's getting tight here where this zip tie is short. I definitely need to get longer zip ties. But like I said, I have 2 bags of these, so I need to use these. And there's 1,000 in a bag, so I'm definitely don't want to waste these. So, but after I use all these, I'll probably next time order at least 6-inch long zip ties. So I know as I start going around here, they're going to start pushing and slanting that way. I mean, I just know that because I've done this so many times. So what I'm going to do, instead of going around this way and coming back around, or going around this way, coming back around this way, I'm going to go to the bottom down here. And I'm going to start down here and go up the sides and come down the side and meet on the sides. I just find for some reason that helps me when I'm putting them in to keep them from all slanting. I don't want them all slanting this way or all slanting that way. I want them to be as uniform as I can get them. Save smaller for the, yeah, Janet, the smaller ones are really good for the petals. Donna, when I finish this row, I will show the petal one more time before I start the purple row, because I've got one more cut to show how to do the petal. So when I get finished with this one, I will show how to make the petal again, Donna. So now I'm going to go down here and I'm going to start coming this way, and then I'll come back up here and put a couple until they meet at the side. And that's just the way I do it. I'm not telling you to do it that way, but this is how I like doing it myself. Like, I make book pages wreaths, and I started making book pages wreaths over a year ago. That was the very first wreath I ever made, was a book pages wreath. And it's the same concept, except it's with pages from books, and you glue them on I used foam board or cardboard box, and I'd cut out a circle and I would draw the circles on the board, and then I would glue the paper cones on the board and make a book pages wreath. So this is the same concept. And you can go to my photos, go to my wreaths album, and I've got pictures in that album of all the book pages wreaths I've made. I've also got I did 2 lives, separate lives, showing how to make the book pages wreath. 2 different ways. So you go to my videos, look through all my videos, and I've got a live showing how to make the book pages wreath using glue, and then a live showing how to make the book pages wreath using staples. So if anyone's interested in that, you can find it there. Now I do have to warn you, they are long videos. But there's a lot of work into making the book pages wreaths. After Charlene, I applied the glue because the tails, I cut them too short and I didn't want them to slide out. So I applied the glue to hold them. If you can see here, the zip tie on the petal and the zip tie on the board, and I put glue over them because that solidifies and it holds them together to keep the petal from sliding out, because I made the tails too short. So that's why I added glue. Just joined. Debbie, I am making a rainbow flower wreath. So that's what I'm doing. Sorry, I touched my phone. It made you guys move. I don't want to make you dizzy. All right. Trying to stick this head through that hole. Now the reason I drilled holes in the board is because of the way I made the petals, where there's 7 different colors in the rainbow. And I really wanted to do each color as an individual petal, but there weren't enough circumferences on the board to do it like that. So I had to double colors up. Like I put the orange, the colors of the rainbow go red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and then violet. So I put the orange inside the red, the green inside the yellow, and that's how I'm going down. And I needed 4 rows to put the petals in. And since my center is 8 inches, I can't use these 2 rows. I'm not going to be using these 2 rows here. So I had to drill more holes in the board to make it like this. If it wasn't for my center, I wouldn't have had to drill holes in the board. But where my center is so big, that's why I had to drill holes in the board. So you can do this and not have to drill holes. Just don't make the center as big as the one I'm putting on it. But I want, this center is what I really wanted, so that's why I'm doing it this way. Now, you're welcome, Charlene. Well, if I can find that head sticking through there. See, this is why I like to preload, but gotta dig around. Alright. Now I'm not gonna zip it yet. I'm gonna lay a petal there to see if I actually need one there. I don't think I do. I think I might need it. I can skip that. Yeah, I can skip that one. Skip those 2 holes. I have it here. But I can skip this one and go to this one. So. Because if I put one there, it's going to squish it too much. And I probably made, even though I only made 26 of these petals, I probably still made too many. But I make another rainbow wreath like this, and I'll have those petals already made. So. Now that one, scoot that up a little bit. Now when I get to the center, that is going to be, because where the center is so big, it is going to cover some of the violet, the purple petals. There are 3 ways that I'm going to try to, well, the first way I'm going to try to put it on is using a zip tie and a staple. My staple gun, I put staples in it using my staple gun. I'm going to try to slide a zip tie through the staple to zip tie it to the board, because I want to keep the back of the board looking clean. But if that doesn't work, then I could take a pipe cleaner. I'm going to try a pipe cleaner, slide it through the staple, and then try to tie it with the pipe cleaner. And if that doesn't work, I can always just glue it. But I'm hoping the zip tie really will work for me. But where the canvas is so large, it's 8 inches, it's taking up a good portion of the center of the board. They didn't have a smaller I got my canvas at Hobby Lobby, and they didn't have a smaller size one than 8 inch. in which, you know, I really wanted a big center. I really wanted this to be like over the top, this center over the top, so that's why I did it the way I did. I'm gonna show how to make the petal, Hilda, after I finish this row. I've got one more row to do, and then I'm gonna show how to do the petal before I start that last row. And also, if you missed me making a petal on this video, you can go to my Facebook page, Tina's Country Door. I shared a video yesterday. I did a short tutorial on how to make this petal. I posted it on my YouTube channel, which is Tina's Country Door 2, and I shared it on my Facebook page, Tina's Country Door. So you can find that link, that video, on my Facebook page. Okay. Now, for anyone who has just joined or late coming in, I'm using a Unique in the Creek large flower board, and you can order these from uniqueinthecreek.com. And if you go to uniqueinthecreek.com and order them, you can use my code, which is Country Door in all capital letters, one word, and you get 10% off your order. So if you don't want to do that, you can order them through Amazon. You can get, I think it's 5 for $45. You could order them through Craft Outlet. You could order them through Trendy Tree. And they're going to be in Michael's store soon. So, but if you go to their website, you can get 10% off by using my code. Oh, and did you guys see my shirt? Unique in the Creek. Yeah. Pretty cool. I like it. I don't know how many times I've worn it. It's really comfortable. I really like it. See where I want to put the next petal. If I need to skip a hole and go on to the, yeah, I think I'm going to have to skip a hole there. So far, this is what this roll is looking like. See, I put 3 right beside each other, and then I skipped 1. Okay, then down here, they're all right beside each other except for this one I had to skip. Well, 3 beside each other, skip those, and then put 1. So, and I'm just going to keep going back and forth from top to bottom. Do I want to try that one? But this video will stay on my page for replay forever. For as long as Facebook exists, I guess. I don't know. But it will, I won't take it off. It will be there so you could go back and watch it however many times you want. Did I put that? Yeah. So if you want to make this flower, you can buy all the supplies and make the flower, but with the center, that is not my photo, not my picture. I had to email Answers in Genesis, an Ark Encounter, and ask them for permission to use that picture on my wreath, and they gave me permission. So if you want to make this and you want to use the photo I'm using, it would do good for you to email them and ask for their permission to use it, so that you don't infringe on any copyright. So yeah, right now it's just one I've skipped. See, here are 3 I skipped, and then 1, and then here are 3 I skipped, and then there's 2 right beside. So it's probably gonna end up being like that. Like do 3 or 2 and skip 1. See, I'll probably end up skipping that one maybe, and then put 1 here. So that's because down here I put 3 and skipped, and then did 1. So that's what it's looking like so far. See, I didn't know how it was going to be, so that's why I didn't go on ahead and preload these. This is Deco Mesh, Marge. Thank you, Angelique. You're welcome, Nancy. Okay, where was I? Now I'm pushing him through the back so I don't have to fool with the so this will peek out through the tails instead of me having to dig through the tails to find the hole. This is where the holes are and the zip tie, and if I put that there, see how it's going to push that? I don't want that, so I'm going to skip that. I'm going to skip that one and go to the next one because I don't want my petals to be slanted like that. Now these tails I cut long enough, so I don't think I need to worry about putting glue on this row. And I knew I would end up having to skip some of these, but I drilled the holes anyway because I'd rather be safe than sorry. I would rather, because I've made flowers where I put 2 petals into 1 zip tie and I had to put glue in it to keep it from sliding out, so I would rather just have the holes so I could put 1 petal in 1 zip tie. It's just my preference, so. Now. Let's try here. See if I can get that head through. See, it's easier to come up. See, if you get these small zip ties with the small heads at 18 pounds, they slide right through the hole. So that helps a lot. All right, this one is right beside, right here. I just put that in. That's where I'm gonna try to put this petal. But I'm thinking I might have to skip it and put it here because I want to show you. This is that zip tie right next to that one. And if I put it here, which I don't know. No, that might work there. Yeah, I might put that one there and I'll probably have to skip the next one. So that's what I'll have to do. Now, see, when I was making the petals, I wasn't sure. I was like, oh man, making the petals like this where the colors are inside of another color, I was afraid the colors weren't going to show up that good. But now that I'm getting it together, I think it's pretty good. It's showing the way I want. I don't know, that blue's kind of, that light blue isn't showing up as good as I like. But I still am thinking about getting lights to put in there to light it up. I mean, I could still do that. I wish the ones I had worked and I would have done that, but they didn't work. I didn't have time to run to the store and get any. So, but I'm pretty sure I can still go buy some and put on here even though the petals are on. I think I could figure that out. Where's that tail at? Lori, I'm going to show how to make the petal again as soon as I finish this row. the mesh is cut at 10 by 10 and a half, Sherry, and that's only because I use 21-inch wide roll. And the reason I use a 21-inch wide roll is to save money. Because with the 21-inch wide roll, I didn't even use, I cut 16 10-inch cuts. And then when I cut those in half, that gave me 32 pieces of mesh to put on to make 32 petals. That still leaves me just a little bit over a half of a roll. So I can get 2 rainbow floweries like this out of one roll of 21-inch mesh. If I use 10-inch wide mesh, I would only be able to get 1 rainbow wreath out of it, because I would need 32 10-inch cuts, and there's only 36 10-inch cuts because there's 360 inches in a roll, if it's true to what they say is in it. Now, not all rows have exactly as much as is says on the package, so that's why I use a 21-inch, and I use my wood burner to cut. I always use my wood burner because I just don't like fooling with the fraying. Even though with this kind of petal, after you put it on and stuff, you're not going to see fraying. I don't like working with the fraying. I don't like handling it, so I just would rather use my wood burner to cut it. I mean, yeah, you could use scissors or a rotary cutter or whatever to cut it, but I just love my wood burner. It's one of the best things I ever bought for my wreathing. Okay. Now, I'm just going back and forth so that they're not slanting one way. So I'm trying to meet them right here. Okay? You're welcome, Sherry. Nancy, I was actually talking about making a kit. Using this and making a kit and selling, if people would be interested in it. That means I would order the boards, drill the hose, paint the board, and order the mesh. I would cut the mesh and all of that, and I would make the center. I'd have to buy the canvas, and I would do the picture because they gave me permission to use the picture, where I've already emailed them and they've already given me permission. So I would make the sign and all that put together, put it in a kit, and ship it. So I thought about that, but I don't know. There's a lot of work that goes into putting a kit together, so I don't know. Would anyone be interested in me making a kit? Or even just making a kit without the sign or whatever, because that would be cheaper. Because the sign, I bought an 8-inch round canvas from Hobby Lobby, and then I took the picture, I saved it on a USB drive, took it to the UPS store, and they printed it out for me, so I had to pay for that too, and that was like $2 and something to pay for the print. So it is a lot of work, Nancy. That's why I haven't done the kit yet. I'm going to show how to make the petal in just a few minutes. I cut the 21-inch mesh at 10 inches. And then I take that cut and I cut it in half. So it's 10 by 10 and a half. Let's see. My sinuses are getting stopped up. See if I need to put that there, or if I need to move it to the... Oh, my belly's growling. I need to go eat. I didn't eat dinner before the live. See where I want to try this. So see, these last 2 rows are just basically guessing game of which holes I'm going to be using. Oh, this center's getting tight. Oh, I hope that fits in there. Oh, you guys, I think I'm in trouble. Look at that. So that's supposed to be in the center, and I still have my violet to go in there. I'm gonna have to figure something out. I told my daughter, I asked her, I said, can you think of anything that I might not think of that could go wrong during my video? No. I'm like, well, surely something will, because it always does with me. You can watch any of my lives and you'll see something always goes wrong. But I'll just have to figure it out. It'll just, I mean, I've got to put the violet in there, because violet is one of the colors of God's rainbow, so the violet has to go in there. It's just that when I put the center in, it'll probably just squash them some. Hopefully it just won't be too bad. You're welcome, Colleen. Let's see. Oh, my stomach's getting ready to growl real big. I hope you guys don't hear it. Alright, I think I can fit 2 more petals on this side. Yep. Let's see, let's move that zip tie. I'll show you the back when I get this done so you can see how many holes that I skipped and how many I used. In the next row, I'm going to be using even less, because the circle's getting smaller. I just hope I can figure out the center. Because when I was making center, I laid it flat on the board. I didn't take into account that the petals were going to be crowding in, so I didn't think of that. So now I got to figure something out. Let's see. Right, that's not where I wanted that. Try to push these up through those tails. So my roll of violet is going to be squashed. And that kind of bums me out. Hopefully I can figure something out. I cannot leave out a color because the rainbow has 7 colors. Oh, that's lopsided. Even after you get these in zip ties, you can still shape them if you need, however you need. Just tug at it and whatever you need to do to get it the way you want it. Push it, pull it. That one's not like I want it. Come on. All right. There we go. That's better. I should be able to get 2 more on this right here. This last row is going to be fun. Or all these tails are thicker. It's like with my Ophelia flower. The first or the second Ophelia flower I made, the center was smaller. But then the next one, the last one I made it bigger because it was just too hard to get the petals into that small where there were so many tails. Where do I want to put this? Oh no, Janet. Oh, I'm so sorry that you broke your foot. I've had broken bones. I've actually had my ankle was crushed in a car accident. I have pins and screws and stuff in my ankle. And then I also broke my leg in the same car accident. Then I've had surgery on the same ankle for tarsal tunnel syndrome. So I feel for you. I know. I really hate to hear that. Do they have you on a walker or crutches? When I broke my ankle, when it was crushed, I was on crutches. But when I had the surgery for the tarsal tunnel syndrome, I had to use a walker, and I hated using a walker because it goes so slow. Yeah, I pray that you heal fast and that you don't have to deal with a lot of pain. I don't want it there. I don't think that's close enough. Slide that out. Oh, wheelchair. Well, you better listen to what the doctors say, and hopefully you heal fast and you don't have to deal with a lot of pain and all that. I'll definitely pray for you. I'm still trying to figure out which holes to use and which ones to skip. So I think I could fit 2 more in here. Right here. Okay. See, they're squishing each other. I'll have to fix that when I've got all of them in there. That one's not close enough. Let's see. I want to look at I want to use the skinnier, elongated ones where it's getting to be a tight squeeze. So I'm picking through the ones that are skinnier to squeeze in there. Alright. So these 2 are more elongated and skinny. Yeah, I hope you don't have to have surgery. Okay, this is the last petal in this. Now, I made 26 petals and I have 5 left, so I only used 21 petals in this row. So that's why I said I wouldn't know the total number of petals I need until after I'm finished with the wreath. Oh, I do that a lot. I really need to get one of those zip tie things tight for me. Alright. So this is what it's looking like so far. I've got one more row, which is the purple. And then to put the center, and I'm kind of nervous about that because it's so big. Alright, now I've got to get my purple flower petals up here because I didn't have enough room to fit all of them on my table, so I had to put them beside on the floor in a basket because then I made a lot of petals. And I'm getting ready to show you how to make the petal again. I'm just getting out the ones I've already made and cut the tails off of, so you guys don't have to watch me cut tails. Alright. Get that out of my way. Get these out of my way. So I don't need those. Yeah, that's... I'll figure it out. Alright. Please try to look over my stuffy nose. But my sinuses are starting to act up. My allergies. Alright. Oh, sorry. My nose is stopped up now, so 21-inch wide roller mesh. I cut at 10 inches. And then I cut that in half, so it's a 10 by 10 and a half. When you lay it down, you want it curved up. Turn it into diamond shape. Take the top corner, bring it down to the bottom corner. Line these up best you can. Pull and tug at that mesh to get it lined up as close as you can. Now, you're not going to be able to get it perfect because see, look here. That is not lined up at all. But that doesn't matter because this is going to go over that, so you're not going to see it. It's going to cover that. So don't fret over it if it doesn't line up perfectly. Take the corner of the second piece, stick it there. It will be in a diamond shape again. Pull that top corner down. We have all four corners right here on top of each other, okay? Now, flatten this, try to line it up and make it snug with the bottom one, as snug and tight as you can get it. This is how I do it. I walk my fingers along this, and then I bring my hand and I'll curve this over, and I bring that tail, there are those tips that I did, and I bring the tail, it's about 1 inch over those corners, okay? Now hold that, then I use my finger and thumb to walk this out to keep it as snug as I can, and bring this tail over that tail. Now I'm not done yet because as you can see it's lopsided, so I still need to work with it. Usually the way to fix that, if you can see how I got that tail over that tail, I just pull this tail out and put it over that tail. Simple. Now it's, you know, it looks a lot better than what it was. I still need to work with it, so I'm just going to push the inner piece in and pull the outer piece over. So once I get that done, this is what I want it to look like. I hold it like this. These are the same color, purple, because I'm doing a rainbow, and in God's rainbow there are 7 different colors. So I did all the other colors, 2 colors in the same petal, but I didn't have another color to put with the purple. So there's two purple pieces of mesh because, you know, it's 7 colors. So, and that's why I'm doing it this way. And I wanted to get all the colors to represent God's rainbow. So as I was saying, I hold it like this, and I take my hand and I bring this around, and those 2 corners right there, I want them to kind of touch, and then I squeeze. And then I turn this around. Now it's a mess. See how I've got it? This is over this tail and all that. I don't want it like that. So while I'm still holding it tight, I'm going to resituate all this. Okay? Now, if you have a hard time holding them, You can go ahead and start your zip tie on it, but don't zip it all the way. So I take my zip tie and start feeding it, but I don't zip it all the way because I still need to have room to work with this petal, and I may have to slide the zip tie up and down, pull and tug at the mesh through the zip tie. So I don't want it tied all the way. See, now this is sticking out too far, so what I'm going to do is push that in and try to pull that top one over it. And I can, right here is the tail to the outer piece, the tail to the inner piece, and I can pull the tail to the outer piece down to try to tighten that up. Oh, there goes my zip tie. But that's all right, I'll just slide that up there. And then I will get one that I've already made, put them side by side. They look pretty close, so that's where I want to zip it all the way. And that's it. And well, you have to cut the tails off before you put it in the wreath. But I've already got some done, so you guys don't have to sit and watch me cut the tails, because that can take a lot of time too. All right, now this is gonna be fun. See, where is that? I've already preloaded one zip tie here, and I'm not gonna be able to pull that out. This is, there we go. That's one thing, these are too short, so where that tail is gonna be through the same zip tie, these are actually really short for that. Ugh. Where? Pull that out. So I'm gonna put another zip tie in there without it being closed to lay the flower petal on, and then start to zip it. I can push this through that tail, the head. Yeah, this is the fun part. All right, got that. Now I know I'm not going to use all these purple ones, so what I'm going to do, I mean, they all look pretty close, but there are some that are smaller than others, and since I'm getting tight to squeeze here in the center, I want to use the smallest ones of the petals that I can, I think. Or I don't know, let me see. I'm not going to zip this yet. I'm going to try to figure this out. Let me get a hold of my sign. How I want that. Yeah, that's gonna squash my petal. So, I tried to take into account, I knew it was going to be crowded, but I didn't realize it was going to be this crowded. If I knew it was going to be like this, I would have drilled holes here and started here. But this is how I figured how I was going to do the rows. Okay, you see the circumferences here. I'll lay this over the circumference to see which one it would fit around, and it fit perfectly around that fourth circumference. So I figured that's all I needed, instead of taking into account that it was going to get crowded like that and my petals are going to get squashed. Y'all, this is what it's going to look like. Do you think that's going to look bad? Opinions, please. I mean, I'm not leaving the purple out. I've got to put the violet in there. I just hope it still looks good. So you guys still with me? I know I've been on here, oh my goodness, I've almost been on here 3 hours. I had not planned on it being this long, but anyone who's watched me before, they could tell you. My lives, for some reason, just always end up being long. And really, most of the time, it's because I talk a lot, and I've been focusing on this wreath. And it's still taking me a while. Well, it took time where I showed you guys 4 or 5 different times how to make the pedal. I took my time and did it slowly so that you guys could pick up on it. So that took time, showing you how to make the pedal. Oh wow, Scotland. Purple with orange and green. That's not, this is a rainbow, Carla. So I'm doing them in order. The order of the rainbow colors are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Violet's the last color. So I'm doing them in order. But if you were doing a wreath and you didn't want it to be specific to the rainbow, you can mix all the colors up all you want. So, but I want this to be particular to the rainbow. So that's why I've got them in the order I do. So, and Bernadette, I am actually got well, I mean, not anyone I know, but I have ancestors from Scotland. I mean, I've never met any family from Scotland, but I know I have ancestors from Scotland. I did that Ancestry.com thing, traced back my heritage and all that, and found some in Scotland. Yeah, see, this zip tie is not going to be long enough here. So I'm going to have to use, I bought these and they were way too big. But they're the only ones I got, and this isn't going to be long enough. Because I want you guys to see. Oh, and I was going to show you. This is the row I just finished. See where I had to just hit and miss some here and there. So, but this one where they're so far apart, the 5.5 long zip tie isn't going to be long enough. So I'm going to have to use my big zip ties. I never thought of that, but yeah, I could put styrofoam in the middle to write. That is a good idea, Barbara. Thank you. I didn't think of that. Yay! I'm going to use this long, thick zip tie. Ugh. I'm not liking the way the purple's going to look. Oh, I hate that I have to use this big zip tie. Let's pull that up. See, these purples are kind of hiding the blues. That's all it is. This petals. The blue's getting squashed. I might have to put glue. Well, I guess I won't have to worry about this, the purple sliding out if after I put the center on, because the center will hold it for sure. I tell you what, even if I wanted to, which I'm not going to do it that way, but I have had to, where I didn't have room. I wanted to add so many petals in the center, but I didn't have enough holes or room to put a zip tie through, so I just glued the petal like this. I put some glue on the zip tie and I glued it to the board, and it saved me a lot of trouble trying to work with the zip tie and stuff and get it in there. So I could do that. I mean, I prefer to use zip ties though. Find where that hole is. Yeah, I have a light shade blue with a dark shade. I have a denim blue with a royal blue. Because the colors of the rainbow are blue, and it's like a light blue, and then indigo. And indigo is like a dark purple, bluish purple more. And the closest I thought that came to it was the royal blue. I mean, I have navy blue, but when I put it with the denim blue, it just didn't look as good as the royal blue looked with the denim blue. Oh, where's that? I can't find it. Oh, there we go. I mean, I could add a royal blue with the purple. Like, I could put the royal blue on the outside of the purple. But if I did that, it would like, because I have the royal blue in here. Which I guess that wouldn't have been a bad idea. You could do it that way. You know, put the, where I have the denim, royal blue, and then put another royal blue and a violet. I could have done that. But I didn't. So yeah, you could do it that way. Pipe cleaners. I'm sorry, I'm trying to talk about my nose stuff. The pipe, you can use pipe cleaners, but I have a hard time getting them tight enough, which I guess it doesn't matter with this inner row. But also the pipe cleaner on the back, see how neat and pretty that looks? Except for that, I'll have to clip that off. But it's so neat. Pipe cleaners, you would, you know, I think it looks better with just all zip ties. But okay. I'm gonna have to see if I can find a piece of styrofoam. I know I've got styrofoam, I just going to find a piece. Perfect. Oh my goodness. I bought this to use for something else that would fit perfectly. Yeah, next time I order zip ties, I'm getting longer ones. Gina, I don't have any more cut pieces to show the petal fold again, but this will be on replay on my page, so you can watch it all you want, or you can go to my YouTube channel, Tina's Country Door, and I did a short tutorial. It's 9 minutes long, showing how to do this particular petal. Or you can check on Tina's Country Door, my Facebook page, and I shared that YouTube channel on my page. So, I mean that YouTube video on my page. So you can watch this back. You can check out that tutorial. So, but see, lilac. The thing is, I wanted to stay true to the rainbow, so that's why I have only done the 7 colors. And the way I have, because I wanted to stay true to the rainbow. Okay. You're welcome, Gina. Or is it, wait a minute. I hope I'm not, Gina. Oh, I'm sorry if I'm not saying that right. Gina. Okay. Oh, I'm still gonna have to use the big ones. But I'll make it work. And these, where they're so big, it's hard to fit 2 into a hole. But I'm making it work. Well, I thank all of you who have stuck with me. They've been on your 3 hours. I know it can be hard or get boring watching someone for so long. I hope I'm not boring. Not too boring. And I hope that you guys are learning that I'm actually teaching something. You guys can take away. I don't like the violet or purple's covering up the blue. I like to pull that down and pull that blue out. Slide that, pull that down some so that you can still see the blue. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go on ahead and go around like this. I'm going to come back down here, put some, and then go up each side like I did with the blue rope. I've already got a zip tie there. So I'll just slide this and that. Do another video? Well, I won't be doing a video Saturday or Sunday. Weekends, I try to put aside for like housework. So I don't do videos on weekends. But I've got a lot of replays. You can go to my video section of my page. And I have a lot of live replays you can watch if you want to do that. Or you could go to my YouTube channel, and I've got some videos. I've got a lot more to put on there, but I have videos on my YouTube channel that you can watch too. And that's Tina's Country Door under the same name on YouTube. And if you don't mind, anyone who hasn't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would really appreciate it if you did. And anyone who hasn't liked my Facebook page, I would appreciate it if you did. And if you don't mind sharing the video. Okay. Oh, Debbie, hoarding mesh. I've got mesh. Okay, over here, I've got a shelf that's from my floor to my ceiling, and I've got 2 of the shelves are like mesh stacked on top of mesh, and then over here, by the wall or in front of the wall, I've got mesh stacked up on top of mesh. So yeah. I have a lot planned. It's just taking the time to do it. So, and the ribbon, I'm a ribbon hoarder too. I used to get excited when I got to go to the store and shop for clothes. Then I started doing wreaths and crafting, and I get more excited over buying ribbon and mesh than I do clothes. Isn't that crazy? Thank you, Janet, for sharing. Can't find that hole. This is not. I'm sorry that you guys are having to watch me fool with this. But this is because of the tails. And if I'd cut the tails shorter, I would have had trouble. I would have had to put glue on there. Let's dig on that hole. Aha. Okay. I want to hurry up and get to putting that picture on the center on here. That's what I'm excited for. My violet petals are getting squashed. Oh, let me slide that one out. So, try to wiggle this one out a little bit because it's too short. And that one's not. When I put one beside it, that should straighten it out. That one's going to be squashed. Alright. Put one there. I am not liking the way that one's looking. Now, find that hole, thread that through. Please overlook my stiff lid, because my sinuses are getting clogged up for my allergies. And it's hard telling what it is. I'm allergic to everything. And I take about every allergy medicine that you could take. Even allergy injections, which I haven't had in a while, but still. Okay. That's what it's looking like so far. We're getting there. And I'm just guessing where to put the petals right now. Trying the spots out to see before I. And see, these purple petals, half of the petals are getting squashed. I don't like that petal. Okay. Pull that one out a little bit. Now this one I do not like, so I'm going to clip this one off. I just don't like it. It's just odd shape to me. Yeah, that one's gonna look better. I'm glad I didn't make as many of the purple and the blue ones as I did of the other ones, because I knew I wasn't gonna use all of them. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. Blue's getting squashed back there. Okay, it's more of these big zip ties. Hi Eva, thank you. Okay, let's see how many. I think I could fit maybe 3 more on each side. So, get some more of these purple ones I already made. 'Cause I ain't using that one. That one's odd shape. may be able to fit 3 more on each side. We'll see. Definitely don't need to worry about putting glue on these because they ain't going nowhere. Thank you. Oh, if I can say your Grace, I'm sorry. I can't pronounce your name. Oh, I can't hardly see. But thank you. Ugh. On that hole. That's not the right hole. Where is it? It's right there. I'm so sorry for my sniffling. Please overlook it. When I get off here, I'm going to have to go take me some Sudafed. I think there must be something in this room because I come in here and I paint. I'll come in here and I'll be fine, and then I'll spend some time in here and I'll start sniffling. So maybe it just needs dusted real good. It hasn't been dusted in a while, but it is a mess with my wreathing stuff and my painting stuff. Yeah, it's a mess. I need to really clean it. And all my stuff ain't fitting in this small room, so we've got another room. Because this used to be my daughter's bedroom. My son, the room that used to be my son's bedroom, is back there. I told my husband, I'm going to have to make it into a paint, have this just for my wreathing stuff, and make that other room for my painting stuff. That way I can have one room each. The only thing is, in the other room, it's a workout room. We have our workout equipment in there, which we never use. We used to, but we haven't in a while. So I told him we need to move that stuff out to the garage so I can have that room for my painting. This. See, that's the problem, is getting past these tails. I can't get in that one. I may be able to do. I'm so glad you guys are sticking with me. Oh, it's not wanting to come through. There we go. I've got 53 of you. I don't know how many people I've had watching me at one time. Really, when I'm doing the lives, I don't really look at how many people are watching me very often. So I don't know what's the most I've had watching me at one time. Right now, oh, I got 56. I'm glad y'all still with me. I really don't know how I would feel about doing a live and something not go wrong, because as far as I can remember, almost every live I've done, I wouldn't say everyone, but almost everyone I've done, something's went wrong. But That's life. Bridget, when I finish with this video, it will be saved on my page for replay, so you could go back and watch it as many times as you want. Thank you, Christine, for blessing my page. Thank you, Bridget. But yeah, it'll be on my page to watch over and over and over until you get tired of me. Oh, you guys. Oh. It's where these tails are so thick, it's hard. This is why it's good to preload, but also I didn't want to waste a lot of zip ties like I have before. See, that won't go through there. Let's see, right there. Haha. All that, thread that through. Eesh. See, I need to put one more maybe after this, I don't know, on that side. I'm definitely gonna have to fool with these petals to reshape them and all that. Ugh, because that is not, there we go. Sometimes all you need to do is to just push that head of the zip tie over a little bit and then straighten it out. I think my blue's being covered. Put one more purple on here, and then I could put two more, or no, wait a minute, three more over here, and then we come to the center, the big finale. Oh, this is the fun part right here. It's really just a feel, because you can't see, so you just have to feel for it. Okay. Okay. Try to keep the head centered of the petal. I definitely don't think I'm going to be using zip tie to hook my center on. Don't think I'm going to be digging through these cells to do that. So yeah, I think it's going to be glue, which that's okay. It works. It'll work. I don't think I pulled that zip tie tight enough. Good thing I didn't clip all that end off. Yeah. I might not even need to add styrofoam in here to glue that on. I got it backward. See, you're supposed to stick the tail of that in the flat end, and I've got that end turned around, so now I'm going to pull this out and go back around. Oh, you guys are so patient with me. Thank you. Thank you, Shelly. Oh, no, Linda. I need to buy me one of those zip tie guns or whatever. I need to search on Amazon or something for one of those. This working with deco mesh and the zip ties, it tears my hands up. They stay so rough. I tried to follow that zip tie that I just put in there and thread it through. Here. The tails are so thick, getting that pushed through there. I think everybody else is in bed. Yeah, my husband goes to bed early, but he gets up real early. Goes to work. I am a night owl. I try to go to bed. I'm like, oh, I gotta go to bed at least by 11. Nope. And I keep telling myself, oh, tomorrow night I'm going to go to bed early. And tomorrow night never comes. And I blame it on my husband, I tell him that. I used to be a person that would go to bed at 9. And then when I got married my husband, he used to work night shift at a factory. And so he would come home early in the morning and sleep until like 3 or whatever and then go to work. And so to see him and spend time with him, I would stay up late waiting for him or sleep during the day. So it just messed up my sleeping. Even though that was a long time ago, because now, see, oh wow, it's been like 10 years since he worked at that job. And he works different job now, but even though it's been so long, it's still it just really messed up my sleep schedule. Anyone else a night owl? Hi, Norma from Alabama. Thank you, Janet, for still being here. I know it's not fun trying to watch me dig through all this. Well, that would, oh, there we go, we got it. Go through there. See where these zip ties are thicker, they're hard to slide through the holes. Wait a minute, am I missing the purple one? Because I'm pretty sure I could fit another one in here. Yep, I can fit another one in there. Thank you, Rose. I'm glad, Gina. Oh, Elma. Well, I live about 2 hours from the Ark, so you're not too far from me. What side of the Ark? South or north from the Ark? I'm south, east from the Ark. It is, Debbie. The struggle's real. Hi, Trish from Ohio. Richmond. My son lives in Richmond. My son and daughter both went to EKU. I graduated from EKU. Both my kids went to EKU. My daughter used to live in Richmond. She doesn't anymore. But my son still lives in Richmond. And my granddaughter's in Richmond. And I miss her. Her birthday was last Monday. We got to see her last Sunday for her birthday. Really enjoyed it. We had fun. I hadn't seen her in a while. It's been like 3 months, and I miss her so bad. Where we don't live really close, it can, yeah. But I hate not seeing her as much as I want. She's growing up too fast, but they all do grow up too fast. Time goes by before you realize it. So we should all definitely not take for granted the time that we have. I'm missing a petal. I need one more purple petal. Ugh. Okay. This is my last petal. Then we gotta work on the center. San Jose, California. We need the Ark in Arkansas. Would like to know what as well, Trish. I think I missed something. Trish, I go to Winchester all the time. I mean, I live an hour away from Winchester, but I'm always going to Winchester. I have a lot of doctorate appointments, so I go to Winchester and Lexington quite a bit. So if it wasn't for doctor appointments, I'd probably never leave home. Or no, that's not true. If it wasn't for Hobby Lobby, I'd probably never leave home. And the Dollar Tree. No, I usually only go to Hobby Lobby, because Hobby Lobby, the closest Hobby Lobby to me, there's one in Lexington, Kentucky, and one in Richmond, Kentucky. And it really takes me about around the same amount of time to get to either one of them as it does the other. So I don't just get up and go just to go some days, but then there are times I'm like, I just gotta go. So I will. Alright. Oh, you guys. This is what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna have to glue this on there. Alright. But this is what it's looking like. Where's the top? Wipe the back up here so you guys can see it. Is the purple hiding the blue too much? Trish, you could go back and watch the replay of this to see how to make the petals. Christmas tree shop. Where's Christmas tree shop? I'm not catching all your comments. I'll go back after the video and read them. So the purple isn't hiding the blues. You can still see the blues real good. Alright, good. Because I need to make sure these petals are the way I want before I glue that center on, because once it's glued, it's glued. The purple are fine. I'm happy with the purple petals. Some of the blue I'm a little bit with, but I can always... Alright. Now I've got to do the center. Oop. Okay. It's a good thing I had this on hand. I bought this for something else. Alright. I want to move all the heads to these zip ties over, because where they're sticking up, it's causing problems laying with the styrofoam laying flat on there. But I'm holding the petal because if you slide the zip tie heads over, it can mess up the shape of your petal. So I'm putting my thumb there to hold the petal, so when I move the head of the zip tie, it doesn't mess up the shape of my petal. Because, I mean, I have to move those heads. Oh, come on. Ugh. Oh, that one's, I hope that one's, yeah. Push all these to the side. Or these are so big they're hard to move. Oh, my advice, don't ever get these huge zip ties if you use one of these boards, because they can be a pain. All right, let's find the top of the board. Oh, like I said, this is where you hang it. You could put a zip tie, twine, or whatever. I'm going to use twine, but I'll put that on after we're done with the video. Okay. So I'm going to glue this here. This is my plan. I got to keep mindful of where the top is, because I want my picture to be straight. The top is lined up with that. That petal right there is where my top is. I'm going to stick something through that so I remember. So when I can look at that and say, oh yeah, that's where the top is. Wait a minute. So I'm not always... Alright, that's my very top petal right there. So I can know how to line up my picture. Before I glue that on there. Alright, it's still going to push the purple petals, but it'll be alright. It's gonna work. It'll work. It'll work. Alright, you guys. What does the edge of the art look like? Yep, so many tricks. I tell you, crafters, we can come up with anything. Anything. This is, okay, it's on the canvas, 80-inch. And I got the printout. Again, I messaged Answers in Genesis, because they're the ones who have the Creation Museum and the Ark Encounter. And I asked them if I could use one. I explained to them what I was making, and asked them if I could use one of their pictures to make the center for it. And a lady emailed me back and told me that I could, and she sent me a link with a lot of their pictures, and I could choose from any of them. And when I saw this one was perfect. I mean, look at the colors. Yeah, that is gorgeous. That's gorgeous. I just love that. So it's, yeah. What was showing? Oh, here. Well, that's going to be hid. That's going to be hid. See? When I put that there, and I push that down, I mean, it's not, you may be able to see a little bit of the white, but not a lot, and it's not really going to matter. So, alright, here we go. Glue this on here, get me some glue. I try to get this done before I get kicked off Facebook, because after 4 hours, they kick you off. Ugh. Make sure all these are and the glue's not wanting to because it's melting my styrofoam. Just load that down and stick that on there. Make sure I get it even. Oh, I have to hold that for a minute. I think it's still a little bit lopsided. That ain't working. Hold that. And then I will glue the sign on here. Nope, didn't work. Look at that. The best way would be for me to put zip ties on there, but I mean, I think pipe cleaners. But the thing is, ooh, yep, they're hosed because that's melting my styrofoam. Let's try it this way. Oh, I have floral pins. I mean, I make a lot of flower centers using burlap and braided ribbon and all that, and I've used floral pins. Let's see if that'll hold. I will figure this out. I'll get it one way or the other. I might not get it on this live, but I'll get it. Oh, nope, see, that ain't gonna work. I might have to figure out something else. But I'm not gonna keep you guys on here. I'm just, this is what I'm gonna have to do, because that ain't working. It's a good thing I got another one of these, because yeah, that was just a waste. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, because I won't have time to do it on this live. But I'll show you so you'll know. And then I will show after a picture of it and everything. But this is what I'll do. If you can see here, you can see those holes there and right there. So this is what I'm going to do. I've got another one of these styrofoam. What I'll do, I'll get me a floral pin and I'll stick a pipe cleaner on each side and feed them through those holes and then glue the picture on that. That'll work. Want it? Think. Small down to the back, glue to the styrofoam. Well, see, if I glue the sign, it's gonna. Where's the sign? See, the sign isn't touching. The sign isn't touching that, so this isn't touching that to glue it on that. See, so I need something to fill this in to attach the sign to. So, but wait a minute. Oh, stay with me. I got 20 more minutes because Facebook is supposed to kick you off after 4 hours. I've been on here 3 hours, 40 minutes. So I got 20 minutes to do this. So what I'm going to do, I always keep foam board, cardboard, or something. I always have it handy. Because I'm going to cut off a couple squares here. And I'll go to floral pins. Let's see. Move that out of the way. Put the pot cleaner and stick this. Oh, this one. Have to slant it. Haha! See, mine's always a work in progress. Always. You guys are getting to see how the wheels turn in my head when something doesn't go the way I plan it. But thank all of you for your ideals. I wouldn't have thought of without you. Haha, I've got it. I'll put a couple more just for safety. No, Betty, this sign is this sign is what the wreath is made for. The sign wasn't really made for the wreath is made for the sign. So it has to be this sign. And my glue gun will go, I can turn the heat down because it has a dial where you can turn the heat up and down. But I didn't think about that. So, but I've got this. And I will feed these through these holes. Put a dab of glue over the pins. Yeah, I probably should do that. Thank you, Trish. I should have put glue under the one thing. Alright. Let that cool down a little bit. I don't want to touch it. Now if I could feed those back through there. The glue's coming off. Shit. I gotta let this cool off so it's dripping. Ouch. My hands are scratched all to pieces. And I've got glue everywhere. A tip while I'm waiting for this glue to cool down a little bit is if you get strings of glue on your wreath, you can take your blow dryer on low heat and just blow over it and it will just disappear from the heat. And I've also used a blow dryer, like I've made wreaths and I've glued something in the center or whatever and I didn't like it, so I used the blow dryer on low and I warmed up the glue and the center just came right off, because when the glue softens up you can just pull it right off. Yeah, I don't think that's going to drip anymore. I don't want to lose sight of where the top of my wreath is. Feed those through the holes. Well, well, you guys, I don't know if you guys can see me trying to stay in frame, but I'm getting there. Whew. All right, got that in there. I may, I don't know, lay, that's lopsided. I have to put that up too far. That styrofoam's up too far. So I didn't get it centered right. Come on. I'm trying to stay in frame, but I'm also chasing this hole. Where is it at? There it is. Haha. Got it. There's that one. Oh, you guys. I'm trying to line this up. Okay. Trying to line this up before I flip it over. Pull this. See? Does that look even? There's the top. I mean, yeah, you can see the ties with this, but when I put the sign on here, you won't see the ties. I don't know. I'll have to deal with that later. Okay. Alright. There's a styrofoam stuck on there. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Or I'm not going to do. I'm not going to glue this on yet. But I will lay it on here and let you guys see what it's going to look like. Because I want to mess with this a little bit more to make sure. And I've got like 13 minutes before we'll get kicked off of Facebook. So I'm going to put this here. Or I don't know. Because see, yeah, that styrofoam's not touching that. Yeah, I'm going to have to fool with that. So I'm going to finish this live. And afterward finish this. And I'll post a picture. But I'm not going to let you guys go without holding this up and showing you. Okay. Put my finger. Now my light in here isn't very good. My husband, I keep telling him he's gonna make me a better light. But that's what it's gonna look like. So what do you think? That's what you can see all the colors. So it's not glued on there yet. I'm gonna work on that and then I'll post a picture on my page. So sorry I didn't get finished that, y'all. I really thought that I had everything figured out and I wouldn't have any problems, but I should learn by now that don't happen with me. But anyways, any questions? Alright, a few things I want to go over. Okay. I use a large Unique in the Creek flower board. You can go to uniqueinthecreek.com and if you use my code Country Door in all caps, one word, you'll get 10% off your order. Trying to see if there's anything else I'm forgetting. Let's see. I have been thinking about making this a kit. I'm not sure. It depends if anybody would really be interested in it. So, if anyone would, send me a message or something. If I get enough people, I might make it a kit. I don't know. But this is, when I get finished, I'll finish it tonight and then I'll post a picture. Also, I have a group called Ophelia's Flower Group. I'm going to show you a picture of that flower. For anyone who is new to my page, this is my Ophelia's flower. No one else, I made this design. I designed this flower, and there are specifics about this flower that you can only learn in a group I have. But it's a $20 one-time fee to join the group. And I mean, once you pay that and you're in it for good. I teach you the petal, I teach you how to put the flower together, I teach you the center, and all that stuff. I have tutorials, I have a live in there that I've done, I have the supply list. Everything that you need to make this flower is in the group. But it's a one-time $20 fee. And yeah, I'm not the first person to charge for a tutorial. So, good night, Charlene. You have a great night too. Lori, you can go back and watch the replay of this, and I show 4 or 5 times how to make the petal. And I also have a tutorial that I posted on just doing the petal. You want me to make you a board for the rainbow? Send me a message, Nicole. Alright? Send me a message about it. And then I'll message you back. But I made this wreath. I wanted it to be the rainbow that God gave us as a sign of His covenant, and how it points to salvation through Christ alone, as there was only one door to enter the ark that saved Noah and his family and the animals. There's only one door that you can go through for salvation, and that's Jesus Christ. So I just wanted to share that. And I hope you guys, and another thing, the rainbow points out the graciousness and mercy of God. That's what His covenant is for. He's very gracious and merciful for us, and that's why Jesus Christ came and was a sacrifice, perfect sacrifice for us. Because we cannot live to God's standard. Only Jesus Christ was able to do that. And that's why only through Jesus Christ are we able to be saved and be righteous before God. So I wanted to share that. And I don't think there's anything else. I'm probably forgetting something and I can't think of it. But if anyone has any questions, or even after the video, you can comment on this, because I always read through all the comments after I'm done. You can message me or anything. So send me a message, write a comment, and I always try to respond, or I'll click like or whatever to let you know that I saw your comment. So I always go back over all that stuff. So I don't think that I've forgotten anything. Hopefully I haven't. If there aren't any questions, I've got about 6 more minutes before the 4-hour mark. So, guess I'll let you guys go. And I hope you have a great night and a wonderful weekend. And just say God bless. Bye, y'all.